in a weekend fire. A stove being used for heat appears to be the cause. Some residents say that smoke and fire alarms were not working properly. America's listening to Fox News.
This Christmas, GTA announces the magic of giving. We've custom designed a line of 9 pop socket accessories that honor 3 organizations whose main goal is to help children. They are the Harvest House, Regalu Foundation, and Sanctuary Incorporated. For every customized pop socket sold in our stores, all of the proceeds will be donated to these great charities. This Christmas, come into GTA and be a part of the magic of giving. GTA, we start with you.
Mescla Chamorro Fusion Bistro brings you island hospitality with a true taste of modern Chamorro cuisine. A bistro look that feels like home. Their menu features local and traditional flavors with a twist. From their famous Calaguan Hapa to fresh ahi poke salad and their award-winning barbecue ribs. Mescla takes your favorite local dishes and serves them with extra flair that you'll only find at Mescla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Stop by their newest location in the Grand Plaza Hotel in Tumon. For reservations, call 969-2652. Mescla, a true taste of Guam.
A homeowner armed with a shotgun uses it on 3 suspected burglars.
Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says they responded to a trailer home in the Channelview area, a suburb of Houston, and found 3 men had been killed inside the home. Gonzalez says one of the people living in the house saw several men in dark clothing trying to enter.
As the other 3 entered, one of the other occupants exited his room armed with a shotgun.
He killed the 3 men, but Sheriff Gonzalez says the resident who opened fire was also badly wounded himself, likely when the suspects returned fire.
I've talked to the neighbors out here. For the most part, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood.
He says it appears the men were trying to commit what he called some type of home invasion or burglary. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The White House is waiting to see if North Korea makes good on a recent warning. Fox's Greg Palcott explains.
North Korea could be whipping up some new trouble just in time for the holidays. New satellite imagery showing expanded activity at a plant associated with some of the North's most dangerous intercontinental ballistic missiles, capable of hitting the U.S. They haven't launched those since 2017. There's been a self-imposed moratorium while talks went on with the U.S. Those are now stalled, and now they're threatening what they call a Christmas gift for the U.S. in case the U.S. does not deliver an offer they're happy with.
Over the weekend, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un reportedly met with his top military officials. After a severe soaking, much of Florida will start to dry out. The heavy rain that delayed flights in Miami is now hammering Georgia and the Carolinas.
The rest of the country is looking mostly clear, so we take a look at our current airport delays, and across the entire country, all green conditions, even some of these spots where you see the current rain.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz, rainy conditions also impacting Southern California. That storm system is heading to the Phoenix area. I'm Pam Puso. This is Fox News.
Hey, what's that?
A Subway Big Hot Pastrami?
My Big Hot Pastrami?
No, my Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Get your own.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked sunflower crunch bread, topped with pickles and mustard. Finish off your meal with all new seasoned potato wedges, baked to perfection right in the restaurant. Both available for limited time only. Subway, make it what you want.
As the busy holiday season approaches, the last thing on your mind is to visit your medical provider. At American Medical Center, we put your health first. A preventative visit will ensure a healthy holiday season. Call 647-8262, and together we can address any concerns you may have and make certain all your medications are current. From our family to yours, happy holidays from American Medical Center, your partner in healthcare.
Cocoa Coffee Company is now available at Circle K. Single-origin coffee beans carefully sourced and locally roasted to give you the freshest cup of coffee Guam has to offer. Grab a cup that's brewed every 30 minutes or purchase a bag of the locally roasted whole beans. Flavors now serving: light medium roasted Ethiopia and medium dark roasted Jamaican Blue Mountain. Exclusively available at Circle K. With every Cocoa Coffee Company purchase, a portion of the proceeds will go towards the Cocoa Recovery Program.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. It's 6:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. It's been a huge concern for many Guam residents who've raised concern over the exposure to a pesticide called Agent Orange, and it appears those concerns may have been substantiated with the discovery of Agent Orange in soil samples taken in various sites throughout the island. Soil samples taken last year and show traces of a herbicide component of Agent Orange, as well as the toxic herbicide called Silvex. The findings are stated in a report to the Guam Environmental Protection Agency at the request of the government of Guam and Joint Region Marianas. The Guam and U.S. Environmental Protection Agencies collected samples from 5 subsites in off-base areas that were believed to have been exposed to Agent Orange. Those include NCS Road along Route 3 and in the vicinity of Potts Junction, areas of Tidzan near the airport and Anderson Air Force Base. The herbicides have been banned for use in the U.S. since the early 80s. It was earlier this year that a group called the Agent Orange Survivors of Guam had asked the U.S. Congress to support a bill that would help with medical treatment for 52,000 military personnel who may have been exposed to herbicides such as Agent Orange. The exposure while serving on Guam, the CNMI, American Samoa, and the Johnston Atoll decades ago. If passed, the bill could also provide financial assistance to residents who are in need of medical care as a result of their exposure. Well, she was spared from having to spend any more time behind bars. Roxanne Hokog, charged with attempting to bring contraband into the Department of Corrections back in 2017. But because of her efforts to get clean and accept guilt, a Superior Court judge yesterday gave her a 5-year suspended prison sentence and credit for time already served. Hokog will remain on supervised probation and must pay $15,000 in fines, which the court said could be converted to community service. Hokog had pleaded guilty in 3 separate cases to charges of conspiracy to give bribes, delivery of a Schedule II controlled substance, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. A crowd of supporters from Oasis Empowerment Center, the Lighthouse Recovery Center, and Togi, Guam were in tears as Hokog addressed the court during sentencing. Hokog currently works for Oasis. The courtroom and Judge Sokola stood to applaud Hokog after she told the court that she has been sober for 2 years. The defense attorney, James Mayer, said Hokog has proven herself through her successful recovery. The prosecution agreed with the suspended prison sentence. About a dozen others have been charged along with Hokog in the conspiracy. They've all pleaded guilty to their part in the contraband case and are scheduled to be sentenced on December 26. 2 highly anticipated and controversial bills have been sent to the governor for her consideration. The first bill is Bill 181, which would use a mix of fiscal year 2019 lapsed funds and monies transferred from the governor to pay war reparations to survivors. The second bill is Bill 249, which would allow the Guam Council on the Arts and Humanities to use up to $350,000 to pay for travel to FESPAC in Hawaii. A third piece of legislation was also passed last week by senators and sent to the governor's office. That's Bill 216, which seeks to establish the stipend rate for members of the Guam Police Department's Civilian Volunteer Police Reserve Program. The bill is an effort to grow the police volunteer group that augments the local police force, which is severely short-handed. The governor has 10 days to act on those bills. And making Guam proud, Yuri Kim has been confirmed as a U.S. ambassador to Albania by the U.S. Senate. Her confirmation marks the first time a Korean-American woman represents the nation as an ambassador. She's also the first person from Guam to become an ambassador. Kim was nominated by the Trump administration. She's had a long career in the U.S. In Washington. Her career as a senior foreign service member. Has also served in the Department of State as the director of the Office of Southern European Affairs, among many other accomplishments. She's also a graduate of the Academy of Our Lady of Guam, and she's earned her bachelor's degree from the University of Pennsylvania and a master's degree from Cambridge University. We'll have more news after this.
The holiday season is here, and it gives us pause to reflect on the abundance of 2019 and to express our gratitude for Guam, the island we call home, and to all Guamanians. Our team here at Security Title is proud of the work we do to support ourselves and our families, to serve and care for our customers, and to give back to our community. May this season of joy and the new year bring happiness, good health, and prosperity to you and yours. Merry Christmas from all of us at Security Title.
Ever notice how that one perfect holiday gift is just out of reach? Or how sales on the stuff you want all come at the same time? This season, plan ahead with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. Now you can afford to be nice without being naughty. For more details, visit FHB.com or any branch to apply. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Today is the start of a 2-day holiday for local and federal government workers. And the Archdiocese of Agana has released the 2019 parish Christmas Eve and Christmas Day Mass schedules. The schedule is listed completely in the Guam Daily Post, so pick up a copy of that today. And it's supposed to be a payday for government of Guam workers after the governor called for payroll to be released early. Folks waiting for tax refunds should also see their checks in the mail. The Department of Revenue and Taxation processed 250 tax refund checks totaling $711,000. The refunds for those who filed on or before June 28th. And those are your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Here now is Ray with your weather.
No, I'm sorry, just making some noise here. And
God bless you.
Yeah, no problem. I was just looking at it. I was looking for some celebrity birthdays for the 24th of December. And you know who's got a birthday today? Somebody's actually been on Guam a couple of times. Ricky Martin.
Oh, I love Ricky Martin.
Living La Vida Loca.
That's right. But here's the part. Here's the part, Mona, that will make you feel old. Ricky Martin was a little boy when he came to Guam all those years ago. He's 47 years old now.
What?
He's 47 years old.
Was he with the group Menudo when they came by?
Yes, he was with the group Menudo. There's every single one of Mona's classmates, including Ambassador Yuri Kim, had a major crush on virtually all of the members of Menudo, but specifically Ricky Martin.
No, for me it wasn't Ricky Martin. It was Robbie Rosa, who is Draco now.
We have to go through this at another time.
Still love him.
6:13 in the morning. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. All right, here comes the weather part. Partly cloudy with isolated showers today. Northeast winds up to about 20 miles an hour, decreasing a little bit later on as we move into Christmas Day. Highs around 88 degrees overnight. Lows 77 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6 o'clock. Tell the others it's a Christmas Eve sunset at 6. Sunrise tomorrow morning should be about 6:40, and that's when the little kids will come screaming down the hall looking for all of the presents underneath the Christmas tree. And then you say, "There's no presents because Daddy drinks."
I heard that a lot growing up.
I'm sorry, that just popped in my head, and I thought it was funny. 6:14 in the morning, and we'll take a look at the weather radar right now. Michael, give you an idea of what things look like. I was going to say for the drive to work, but I think we're the only ones working today. It's us, a lady at 411, and some cops, right?
Yeah, because you're like the Grinch, man.
Well, I didn't know that Trump was given the day off.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't know.
Yesterday, the governor declared today a holiday. You know, I could be shopping at Ross right now.
There's also that. All right, Mike, what do you see out there?
Well,
on
we're looking
the
at
weather radar.
Yeah, we're looking at a bit of a trade wind disturbance. It's pushing on in. Again, it's a leading edge of the reinforcement of the trade wind surge. These showers will probably move in this afternoon. When they do, the winds will pick up a little bit to that 15 to 20 mile per hour range, and then they'll probably stick there through most of today and probably most of tomorrow as well. These showers will be very light. They'll move through fairly quickly, and it'll just be a little rain to remind us that it is the dry season, but in every day a little rain must fall. You can see you can see the mottled look of the clouds off to the east, and when you have those patchy looking clouds, that tells you there's actually some cooler air associated here mixing in with the moisture, and it's creating this mottled appearance to the clouds. Again, as that surge continues to fill on in, and we're actually just on the leading edge of it right now, so the air is going to start to dry out as we go through the day today, whereas it felt kind of moist this morning, a little dew on the cars.
Yeah.
Things are really going to dry out as we go on. We can see
it means it's going to be a nice day. It's going to be nice.
It really is.
Got some of the trade winds by 20 mile an hour winds blowing by you, and it's going to be coming in with that cooler, dry air.
That's right.
Forget the aircon.
That's what I put the grill marks on there. Both days will be great for getting out to the beach if you want to, or going out and do outdoor activities. Severe tropical storm Fanfon. It's taking aim at the Philippines right now. It'll hit the Visayas for Christmas. Merry Christmas, Philippines.
There you go. It's 6:16. That's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 65 years.
Live the the balanced lifestyle. Take Care Insurance offers proven wellness and fitness programs to encourage individuals and families to live a healthy, balanced lifestyle through preventative care, being active, eating right, relaxing and unwinding, and being socially connected. They have the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs for all ages. Join the movement. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram or visit takecareasia.com to learn more. Celebrate your holiday festivities with dinner at Hyatt Regency Guam on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at Al Dente Ristorante. Enjoy a holiday family set menu, which includes Fiorentina steak, lobster tail, and an array of Italian favorites, suitable for up to a family of 4. Eat, drink, and be merry during the holidays at Hyatt Regency Guam's Al Dente Ristorante. To make your reservations, please call 647-1234.
Want to grow your business? Start a new venture? Or stay ahead of the competition? You can. With Docomo Pacific Smart Business Solutions tailored to your specific needs and ambitions, you can do it all. Partner with a network with best-in-class network coverage, state-of-the-art communication platforms, and a team dedicated to providing you with premium support. Call 688-2677 to start your journey to success today. Docomo Pacific Business, delivering your future today.
It's the Ray Gibson Show, being brought to you by American President Lines APL, a global presence with a local home. And happy birthday to Wendy's, celebrating their 50th anniversary. And they get new birthday cake frosty and birthday cake frosty cookie sundaes. And it's only going to be around for a limited time, so make sure you get some over at the Wendy's today. Happy birthday and sweet treats for everybody on Guam. Get the party started now at Wendy's.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I'm ready to begin the broadcast. What is it? The Christmas Eve broadcast of the Ray Gibson Show. A lot of time, energy, and preparation has been put into this particular broadcast. We've got all kinds of things lined up. We've got the visit from Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus a little bit later on for the kids. So gather around the radio. We'll be singing some Christmas carols, and I think we've got the food coming in from the hotels with the turkey and the ham and the stuffing and all that should be in here before about 10 o'clock this morning.
Really?
No.
Can it come? Can it come before 8:30?
No. Wouldn't it be great though if I did all that stuff? Wouldn't it be just a terrific Christmas broadcast if I'd have done all of that stuff? But frankly, we've been doing other stuff around here at the radio station. Got all kinds of things that they're going on. Plans for 2020. That's just right. It's there. It's next week. It's going to be 2020, and then there was the Christmas shopping that still needed to get done. Did you get out any yesterday to do any nothing?
Not Christmas shopping, but I did some.
Just shopping?
Yeah,
all right.
for essential stuff.
Mike got himself a new battery for the car. That's Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and
Christmas yourself.
And shoes, because, Kmart had them on special.
So. There you go. Was it busy when you went there?
No, not really. It wasn't too bad. That was Saturday.
I was surprised at how light it was yesterday. Traffic was bad yesterday, for sure. Mm-hmm. Most of the places that I was trying to get to, the traffic was kind of awful. But once I got to where it was that I was doing my shopping, I was surprised at how light the crowds were, and that there was still a lot of stuff for sale. You could still buy a lot of, I thought some pretty groovy. I didn't buy any groovy stuff, but it was nice that I could see it.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, no matter where you go, there you are.
All right, anyway, 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's the voice of Duke Sky Talker, Michael Knight. He's the producer of the program. He'll get the phone when you call at 888-8255. Again, that is 888-8255. Other voice there is Mona Silva Tyron, my baby sister, and she is celebrating her first Christmas back on the air. That's right. And it's nice, right? You get that nice feeling.
My first Christmas back on the air, and the last Christmas Of the decade.
No, I didn't know you were going there. Of the decade, ladies and gentlemen. Last Christmas of the 2010s, and we jump headlong into the 2020s. Could probably do it on Thursday. Start talking to people about New Year's predictions and top stories of 2019 and things like that.
You just made me think about it, but the last time I left the media 10 years ago.
It was about 10 years ago, right?
10 years ago. It was in 2010.
And jumped into the legislature.
How
and
time flies.
Helped the governor out over at
Feels like
GETA.
yesterday.
Solved all of those problems. It did kind of feel like yesterday.
Yeah,
I was
it's
trying
insane
to
thinking about it.
compare and contrast where I was at the outset of 2010, right? The end of 2009 and the beginning of 2010, where I am today. And I'm here to tell you, I think I'm a completely different person than I was in 2009 going into 2010. There's just so much that has changed for all of us. Better, worse, whatever. I mean, here we are today, all of us together on the Facebook Live. Speaking of Facebook Live, let's talk to these people about how things have changed for them in the last 10 years.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
All right, just a quick programming note. If I screw anything up, it's not my fault. I'm on a load of Dayquil here. I went to sleep last night, and there was a little dryness in my mouth, a little bit of itchy, warm in the back of the throat, and
that's
and
what
then
beer is for, right?
Yeah, and then I woke up, and then I was just completely congested, and I thought, well, this is gonna suck for Christmas Eve. So I get
that's
the
what
Dayquil.
whiskey is for, right?
I know, but I don't have any of that stuff in my house. You know, the only thing I have in the house, I've got this little container of holy water on top of the refrigerator, like all good tomorrows do. Anyway, 6:23 in the morning, I get Pat and Norma Jean Flores at number 1 today. Mary Lou Berseman comes in at number 2, and it's odd that she came in at number 2 because I didn't mean to do it, but I was actually distracting her right about the same time I was doing the setup for the show. I was chatting with her for a little bit on her Facebook page, so totally surprised that she was able to make it in at number 2. James Lester Lonzo at 3. There's Nate Horn. Steve Klein is there. Kena McCausland, who is doing her Eve of Christmas Eve in Washington State right now. Yoich Ringil, who is online, managed to get in top 10 from Palau. Huh? The guy, he's still down in Palau and still manages to come in top 10. Good job on you. I see Heather Perez is there, Bertman and Sala, and Anita Muffness with the pretty Valentine's eyes. Hope that you've had a chance to see that. And there's a whole bunch of other people that are online with all of us this morning, including Heather Perez, who says, I'm second place so far on the Pick'ems. I thought Dave Torrey was Niners for life. Had you seen it yet?
I have neither confirmed nor denied that. I haven't checked. I honestly, after yesterday late games, just
Oh,
depressing.
yeah.
So
The
I
late
just
games
didn't
were,
even look. It was
just
ridiculous.
Yes, agree.
Why is anybody even a Dallas Cowboy fan? Seriously.
So I got this is the standing so far. Downset What the What at number 1. Niners for Life, number 2. Octopus Pew Pew, that's me, is at number 3, but I don't count. So White Flower Dude, that's Rico Blancaflor, would be able to get to 3rd place. And then there's one more weekend left of the NFL, and then we can move on with our lives. But Heather, if that's you, congratulations to you. I like that. A little bit later on tomorrow. No, we're not working tomorrow. So Thursday morning we'll announce who the winner is for week number 16, and we wish all of you good luck. Sabine Chargaloff is there. Mark Mendiola says, Merry Christmas, Ray, and boss lady Mana Silva. What? Explain yourself, Mana.
Well, he used to work at GETA with me.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was my neighbor. He was my gang.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Roy Burgess, my running buddy, is online saying happy birthday to us. Rooster is hanging out. Merry Christmas, Monterey, Mike, and the familia.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Dave Eckert is chiming in from all the way in the United States mainland.
Hey.
Merry Christmas to you, Big Dave. John Ray Titano, and if it was, I don't have the pictures on me, but I've got pictures of Dave Eckert and Jerry Roberts at the KUAM Christmas party in December of 1979. And one of the things that I found out that night were there were 3 bald people at KUAM. I didn't realize there were 3 of them. I knew that there was one, Dave Eckert, who had always been bald. Could have been Lieutenant Governor Dave. But there's Dave Eckert, Jerry Roberts, And I didn't know that was a wig. And a guy that we both worked with used to do the midday program director of KUM at the time, Les Engelhardt. Who used to do some strange things with girls in the dark, and that was the rhyme. Les Engelhardt, watch out for him. I have no idea what happened to that guy, but nice to see Dave Eckert is online. Old school guys.
Puzzled look on my
No, I'm
face
still
when you
looking
said
back
that.
at Jerry Roberts with a wig. I mean, was that really not real? I'm going to ask him when he comes in.
But he looked great is the thing. I mean, Jerry Ray, he had the whole thing going. The guys, GQ shirts and pants and shiny shoes and stuff, and he had the Batman mustache going. And then he's going to kill me when I get on. But there was we had the Christmas party, and Dave Eckert was the Santa Claus, and Jerry Roberts sat on his lap, and then Dave Eckert pulled the wig off of his head, and there were at least me and 4 or 5 other people in the room that had no idea.
Yeah, and in this day and age, it's actually nice to see people go on natural.
Just because in some cases the wigs are a lot more obvious in 2019 than they were in 1979. You'd figure we'd get better at it by now.
My wig is expensive.
Yours is good though. Jess Mendiola is there. Good morning on this Christmas Eve. This is the good Jess Mendiola, not the bad Jess Mendiola that got busted in the newspaper the other day. I don't know if you saw that. Anthony Chaco is online, and who's there? Who else is playing around? Joyce Castro Payette. Good morning to you. Joette Cruz says, hey, Ray, puff, puff, pass. No, too early. Or is it ever too early for puff, puff, pass? Michael?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. It's Christmas. I'm trying to keep things on the up and up. But,
all right. Well, the only rule here that we've got. There you go. 6:27. I got it. I was telling Mon, I'm not going to tell you who was involved, but I was someplace the other night, and it was time for me to come home.
I didn't know who's involved.
And so I'm standing outside, and it's breezy. We got breezy conditions out here. And one of the girls that I'm standing outside this place with says, "Do me a favor, can you shield me from the wind?" And she was trying to light something, and I thought it was a cigarette. And so I pull my jacket out, and I try to break the wind for her so she can light this thing. And I look, and it's a marijuana joint, and it's right there in front. There's Marine Corps Drive is right there. Everybody can see you as you're lighting a marijuana joint. And I'm
but it's not like she was cockfighting.
No. Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez is online. We were never able to get the thing. We were never able to get it.
Maybe one of those torch lighters that are anti-wind.
Dave Torrey says he is working as well. Merry Christmas, Ray, Mana, and Michael. Good
Merry
to see.
Christmas.
Ed Massey is there. Marla Carbolito is online. Dominic Uggan was sending wishes to Keenan McCausland. Auntie Bennett, Lujan Duenas from Family Finance. Need some dough and you didn't get your tax refund yet? Go see Auntie Bennett over there, and she'll hook you up with a couple of bucks and go finish your Christmas shopping. Half a day from Spanaway. That's from Rich and Fran Tenorio Kitsutsu. Good to have you guys online. Cousin Teddy up at the ranch watching for Santa. Santa Claus is going to be coming over the horizon tonight with the reindeer, Teddy. Don't shoot him. Lillian Cruz is hanging out this morning. So is Dave Eckert says, thanks, 79. Wow. It was a long time ago, wasn't it? Merry Christmas Eve from Annette Ada Vasquez, watching the program, listening out in California.
That's our prima.
I know it is. The Real Joe Cruz is online saying, nice smoke out. It's legal. Spoiler alert, I'm coming to work. I'm coming to work, boss. Nick Perlonsky passed the Dutchie from the left-hand side. Is that where we're all going to be today? Is that going to be Christmas? Is that how we're all going to be marking Christmas?
You assume we're not already there. Right?
Got a day off from the federal government, day off from the government of Guam, and somebody out there has got buds, right? And we're all just that's what they're going to be this year Christmas present. It's a Tupperware filled with buds. Congratulations to you. That's where we are on Guam.
Why not?
At the end of 2019. Bottom of the hour, and plenty of stuff to go through. Mana's going to have news and headlines from the Guam Daily Post. A couple of interesting stories on here. One of them is they've got some trace components of Agent Orange found. Scary. Near my house. Near my house. Is that can we go and become part of the downwinders now? If we
I don't know, but it sure explains a lot.
I was just about to say.
Are you guys talking about me?
Oh, why would we do that?
You know, Dayquil comes in color orange. And then we got $711,000 in tax refunds being mailed out this week. So what did the governor do that they had to send out almost $1 million worth of tax refunds? This is supposed to take away the sting of the signing off on the hated Bill 181 and the hated FESPAC legislation. Says, don't look over there. Look in the mailbox for tax refunds. Never mind what we're doing over here with these bills.
They're trying to close out the year and make sure that everybody gets their refund.
Well,
and then, it always...
Don't tell me it's a nice thing to do, because it's a court order. The court ordered the government of Guam to do tax refunds.
But also, they want to do it in time for, everybody to go out and spend it on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. And forget Bill 181. Forget about the FESPAC legislation. Never mind the fact that we've been here spending $1 billion budget and nobody has anything to show for it. Louder. All right, that's nice. So a bunch of other stories. We might get caught up with Nick Delgado and find out, about some of these astonishing court cases, including this miracle of Christmas with Roxanne Hokog, who found her way to sobriety, and Anita Sokola joined everybody in a round of applause, and there were tears of joy apparently as she was spared. What would have been a 5-year sentence for trying to do all kinds of smuggling and all of those other things. Anyway, plus whatever else is going on, I've got some good news. And by the way, even though it's not Friday because it is Christmas Eve, the day before the birth of our Christ, Lord, baby Jesus, this is a no frowny face Tuesday. There's no frowny. Doesn't matter. Ken LG is going to chime in a little bit later on, but he's going to chime in with the opposite of a frowny face. And if he doesn't, you'll still be able to find him in today's Guam Daily Post. A very salty forum page on the Guam Daily Post. I'll take a look at it and you'll understand why. In the meantime, it's 6:32, and as I said, with news now from the Guam Daily Post, here's Montezuma Tyler.
The Agent Orange survivors of Guam have been working to get support and compensation from Washington for exposure to Agent Orange years ago, and it appears their concerns have been substantiated with test results and test samples of soil now showing signs of herbicide Agent Orange. The samples taken from 5 off-base sites from Anderson, Tidzin, and near Potts Junction. And shops could be packed today with the last-minute shoppers, and they could get a bit more cheerful. For those of you who got paid early or who received your tax refunds, the governor called for an early payday for GovGuam workers and at the same time ensured that refunds were paid. Reverend Tax said that they mailed out $711,000 in checks. The governor has 10 days to act on several bills that were sent to her desk from the legislature. Senators passed 2 highly controversial ones. The first one is Bill 181 that'll give Bill 181, which would actually give lapsed funds to pay war reparations to war survivors. And the second bill is 249, which would pay out $350,000 to pay for travel to the Festival of the Pacific Arts in Hawaii in 2020. And those are some of your headlines from the Guam Daily Post. For more on these stories, pick up a copy of the paper or log on to their website at postguam.com.
Right on. There's a guy, Ricky Woodall, who is saying Merry Christmas from Skydive Guam. Oh, cool. Would you do it? Would you ever do Skydive Guam?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's Ricky. We're not giving you a hard time. It's just absolute. There is no way that you would be able to wipe the expression of terror off my face from the moment I stepped onto the parking lot or got into your van that takes me to the airplane. I would have the look of terror, absolute horror, abject horror on my face. You would not be able to wipe it off. Same?
Yeah, same.
All right, Michael Knight. Michael Knight?
Oh, absolutely. No, I don't even like flying in the first place. The last thing I'm going to do is jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Exactly. How do you get people to do that, Ricky? How do you get people to be calm on the airplane? Because there'd be all kinds of stuff coming out of both ends of me. I'd just be unbelievably scared. Or is there some other kind of therapy that we've been talking about this morning that you apply to some of the guys that do those jumps?
Would they allow people to do it if they were inebriated?
Oh, that's the only way I'd be able to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Inebriated. I'll take 2 Dayquils, please. 6:34 in the morning. Good to have you there, Rick. That's also iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect and learn how they can save you money. That's right. Save enough money so you can afford to go on board the airplane with Skydive Guam and hang out with those guys. I'm sure you can do something like that. 888-8888 is the telephone number for iConnect.
Hop a day. This is Melanie Mendiola.
And this is Ricky Hernandez. We're with the Guam Economic Development Authority.
And we're both alumni of the University of Guam. We're calling on our fellow alumni to make an investment in Guam's future by contributing to the G is for Giving campaign. With your donation, you are giving more students the opportunity to graduate, making Guam a better place.
To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to give.uog.edu before December 31st or call 735-2957 for more information.
Viva UOG!
Are you ready for some football? The Ray Gibson Show has got your fix every day with the Points NFL Pick'em Contest. Get the latest updates as we check out the past week's performance and break down the upcoming action. Get your game on by calling the hotline at 888-TALK or sound off on Facebook Live at thepoint.gu. League members get a chance to win some awesome weekly prizes with a shot for your choice of a new GTA phone. The NFL Pick'em Contest is brought to you by Current Guam with special thanks to GTA.
It's 6:36 in the morning. I don't need the traffic gizmo, and I don't think I'm going to need it at all today because there is nobody on the road. It's like the middle of the night on Guam's roadways. There is no school. There is no government of Guam. There is no federal government. And if you're working today, you just work for a slave driver like me. That must be all there is to it. But at some point, I think you'll be able to jump out of the office and get back to your Christmas shopping or the preparations that you're going to be making for the get-togethers tomorrow. I did check with Kathy Calvo over at Payless yesterday because I wanted to know what the hours were going to be and where they were going to be. And if you listen long enough, I will tell you all about how to get through your Payless shopping today and make sure that you're prepared for all your get-togethers with food tomorrow. That's Right Now Traffic.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger licking good.
Rent, lease. What does Horizon do for you? Here's a clue. Advertising, marketing, screening, inspecting, instructing, leasing and signing, collecting and complying, inquiring and assessing, coordinating, repairing, renewing, enforcing, evicting, moving, cleaning, rekeying, communicating. Do it yourself and you'll find it taxing. We work hard to keep the vacancies low, so at the end of the month, you collect the dough. Proven and trusted. Horizon Properties. We do it all. 777-7792.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Real Joe Cruz is making some jokes here. They said there was no Agent Orange on Guam, only Agent Tangerines. Actually, they're finding components of the Agent Orange out there. And there's some interesting, there's more to that story, I think, that I'd love to see the report to see what else they've got to say about some of the trace elements that they've found of Agent Orange and where. The one in particular around Tiedzin, because as I said, that would be up the road from my place. So if it rains really hard in Tiedzin, maybe some of that water is coming down, towards Benson and down to my place.
My place too, because we're at the bottom of the bowl.
You are at the Cañada of the Cañada where you are at.
So according to the paper, it said that it's on the fringes of the airport, like right along Tiedzin, in between Tiedzin and the airport. I guess the airport is on Tiedzin. Kind of on the outskirts of the
but I mean, do we
with
the runway and some of the properties down the runway? I mean, you don't see them much anymore, but there was once upon a time that there was a whole lot of these concrete pads and concrete foundations down that side. So when they start talking about the airport, are they including it as far south as
It'd be
that?
Nice to see the map, right?
Yeah, I'd like to see the rest of the report. Jim Bonato, JB, checking Ray out from Palm Springs, California. That's why I haven't seen you over at the Carabao lately. I see Lillian Cruz who says, close your eyes and jump. Is what she said with regard to skydiving. But I tell you what, Lillian Cruz, that's good advice for just about everything in life. When you're not sure what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and you're a little bit scared about what might be lying around for you on the other side, the other end of whatever it is that you're going through, just close your eyes and jump, push through it, and see where you end up.
I do that every day when we launch the show.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah, I have no idea what we're going to be doing. We'll just grit our teeth and do it. Bob Ellsworth online with his Merry Christmas wishes, West of the Point crew. Bill 249 is the embodiment of forgiveness rather than permission. Thanks, Nate. I appreciate that. And any man that's ever been married understands the process as well. I see my buddy Chris Watson saying, "Baby, it's cold outside." Man, I remember when "Baby, It's Cold Outside" was a song about just Christmas time dating, and now it's all about apparently Christmas time date rape. It's amazing how some people have taken what I thought pretty interesting songs with it, pretty interesting lyrics, and turning them on their side. Let's stop doing that in 2020, shall we? Is it possible that we can get out from under that kind of, oh my God, let's be upset about every little thing in 2020? I'll tell you what to be upset about. I will be here every day and tell you the things that ought to make you some kind of frowny face. But I'm not going to do it today because it's the day before Jesus' birthday. So there we go. You want to talk about something, 888-8888, or chime in on the Facebook Live, or you can send some cool WhatsApps. What do I got? 988-5874 is the WhatsApp for the radio station. Again, 988-5874. If you've got some images that are funny, videos of Ken, Joe, or whoever, go ahead and send them to us, and I will share them with all of the listeners and the viewers on the point. Yeah, you knew where I was going that time, didn't you, buddy? You knew it. 641, and here's the numbers. I got this from Kathy Calvo yesterday, but it's possible that you missed it, so let me repeat it. In fact, it's possible if I get bored, I might just take all the high points from yesterday and repeat those, because there's no point to rewriting comedy every day. If you got something good, just keep running it. Here's the Christmas hours. Sinahanya and Sumai will close at 10 o'clock tonight. Oka, Mangilao, Jigo, Micronesia Mall, and Dededo will be closing at midnight on Christmas Eve so that everybody can have their midnight mass in the parking lot. Again, Oka, Mangilao, Jigo, Micronesia Mall, and Dededo will close at midnight on Christmas Eve. I do have this for your shopping convenience. Mighty and Dededo Payless. Well, that doesn't make sense. Didn't they just say that Dededo is going to be closing at midnight? Anyway, Mighty for sure will be open during regular hours on Christmas Day. All other store locations will be closed on Christmas Day. So if you don't have whatever it is that you're looking for today, you might not have all that much time in the next couple of days, tomorrow, to get it. Or you're going to have to settle for whatever it is, whatever version of it that they're selling over at the little mom and pop store that you've got in the village. Just how old are these? Is this can of cranberries? Yeah, I'll tell you, it's supposed to look like Jell-O when it comes out. If it comes out really, really hard or really, really liquidy, you might not be getting the kind of cranberry sauce that you're looking for here.
Yeah, I did see a great deal on Emperador Light at Payless.
I think
It's brandy, Emperador Light.
Oh.
Very popular in the Philippines. I think it was less than $4 for a huge bottle.
There's a story. Thanks for bringing that up. There's a story about this coconut wine that killed bad. People. Yeah. Killed 20. Let me just do a Google here and get the story here. Al Jazeera reporting several dead in the Philippines after drinking local coconut wine. Are they talking about tuba?
It could be. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the. I mean, it might have even been the coconut fermented liquor, which I forget what they call that.
Aguardiente.
Yeah.
Aggie out here. At least 8 people have died, hundreds taken to the hospital in the Philippines after drinking coconut wine believed to contain high levels of methanol. The victims attended gatherings over the weekend in the town of Rizal in Laguna, southeast of Manila, and complained of stomach pains after drinking the wine known locally as lambanog. 9 victims in critical condition. We asked many of our doctors on holiday leave to report to work just to attend to the patients, adding the need to treat large numbers who arrived with symptoms of alcohol poisoning meant other people were turned away. In total, 300 victims were taken to the hospital. All drank the same brand of wine that had been bought in the area. Rizal Town put under an imposed and immediate ban on the sale of the lambanog, which is in high demand over the Christmas holidays. This is to ensure public safety. We don't want more people to suffer the same fate. We want to ensure that all the lambanog products are safe for consumption, he says. Well, that's where I intend to spend New Year's. Should I see if I can get my hands on some of this lambanog and see what it tastes like? They got good hospitals there. They got. I'll be staying near what is it, St. Luke's. I should give that a shot. Anyway, 6:44 in the morning. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number around here. There is a very, very good news that's floating around. I don't know if you saw it. Yesterday, what is it? Statement on Bill 181. No, I don't care about that. Christmas break reminder. Remind me to get to that. Senate passes the bill with Medicaid funding for Guam. Governor Lulian Guerrero issues the following statement on the Senate's passage of the nearly $1.4 trillion spending bill, which includes a provision for $127 million in Medicaid funding for Guam. Quote, today, Democrats and Republicans in Congress put national partisanship aside to help millions of people they have never met. This work took the combined effort of many, but that work isn't done. While we are grateful for this temporary fix, we must work toward a lasting solution. Guam joins our fellow territories in the important work ahead. Mention Mike Nicholas's name in here, because it seems to me that Mike had to do some horse trading with the guys from Puerto Rico in order for all of the territories to get something like the deal done. But I suppose when she says Democrats and Republicans, she's obviously in Congress. She has to be talking about the one Democrat that they sent to Guam out there. And so we'll get with Mike a little bit later on this morning and see what he's got to say about that, his thoughts on 181. And I'm curious about something else. This bubbled up a couple of weeks ago, and it reared its head in conversation recently. And I thought, we've got to make sure somebody's keeping a string on this. It was a couple of weeks ago we heard that the guys at the Census Bureau and the Department of Interior underpaid the state of Hawaii for their compact reimbursement by the tune of about $12 million. And the guy from over at Doug Domenech from the Department of Interior said, don't worry about it. We've got a plan to restore Hawaii, and that means that we're just going to withhold $4 million a year for 3 years from Guam. And everybody around here said, whoa, hey there, Bree. I don't think that's a very smart idea. I don't think that's a wise thing. Because that means we're not getting enough to begin with. And they said that they would be working through another kind of solution. And I'm kind of curious if they've determined what that other kind of solution is going to end up being. We'll watch and we'll see. And maybe there's some movement on that over in Washington, D.C. Now, the thing on 181 is kind of interesting. And I don't know that I've got the write-up in front of me. One of the press releases or news stories that went out where they said that they weren't sure. I think it was on the speaker's WhatsApp chat. I'll dig it out. It was, and they were saying something along the lines of, they're not sure that anything is actually happening in Congress. There's something along the lines of just a couple of radio interviews. Yeah. What's the timeline for Hotline, which is the thing that Mike was describing? When we were last debating this measure on the floor in August, this is Tina talking now, I was asked to hold off for a month by Mr. Nicholas. Today, months later, he's still asking for more time. To date, other than statements by our congressman on the radio, which they attribute to this program, I have no concrete evidence to even state that it has been cleared, it has even cleared the Judiciary Committee. So we'll check with Mike and see what that's all about. 6:48 in the morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK. Did I say 888-8888 again? I told you it's the...
Earlier, yeah. It's the Dayquil.
It's the Dayquil talking.
And the whiskey.
No, just the Dayquil, bro. Do me a favor, see if you can line up our buddy Shawnee and see if he's awake this morning. He doesn't need to be awake because apparently there's nothing going on anywhere in the government of Guam, including the folks over at the judiciary. All right, so you wanted some good news? I'll give you good news. 6:49 in the morning, and about once a week there is a posting on reliefweb.int. Reliefweb.int is where you go if you want to find out what's happening with epidemic, emerging diseases, and things like that. And Guam has been on this map for some time. I don't have the color version of the map, but here it is, the great blue continent out here with all of these. Each one of these little things that you see, each little spots that you see, those right there are outbreaks of one kind or another. And they go through what's happening in Kiribati and Fiji, 23 confirmed cases of measles there. As of December 23rd in Samoa, 5,552 measles case has been reported by the Ministry of Health. Really? Let's take a look at this, everyone. This is the first time I'm reading this. 5,500 cases of measles in Samoa? That's awful. 94% of the population has been vaccinated as of the 22nd of December, but they're still reporting new cases all the time. As of December 15th, 564 cases of suspected measles identified in Tonga. Well, you better check your kids' records and find out what's going on. American Samoa there, confirmed cases of measles have been reported in that place. But getting to Guam, where our outbreak concern has been with dengue fever, it says there have been no new cases of dengue reported on Guam in the last 4 weeks. Therefore, our alert has been removed from the map. And how do we know that they don't have any confirmed cases? Because it was a couple of weeks ago that the place actually burned down. So I don't think they were conducting any new tests. But apparently nobody is reporting to emergency rooms and places like that with any new cases of dengue. Does that mean that we can pull back on our efforts to curb the mosquito population?
Personally, I would say no.
Yeah.
I
But
would just continue to put the off on. And
they're still selling, and it's kind of neat because, you go to the gas station and, you get your cigarettes and your Slim Jims, you buy gas and stuff like that. And they've always got these cool little knickknacks on the counters at the gas station. One of the cool little knickknacks that I saw, there were two of them. One of them was a little magnetic gizmo you stick on the back of the phone, and it clicks to another magnetic gizmo that you have on the dashboard of the car, so that you can look at your phone and, can watch your YouTubes while you're driving. Pretty sure you're not supposed to be watching YouTube while you're driving. But anyway, you make it so other people can watch the YouTube while you're driving.
It's actually a law that I passed.
But there's the other one where you
can't watch videos while you're driving.
Well,
it just adds to
you can't legally watch videos while you're driving. Is the point. The judiciary elves are on the line. Shawnee, Merry Christmas, buddy.
We woke him up again.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys. And you can listen to YouTube while you're driving, right?
You can listen to the YouTube while you're driving. We've got any speaker anytime. That's what we've wired up here at the radio station. I wanted to give you an opportunity to extend Merry Christmas to all of your staff and management and customers of the judiciary, because you guys taking the day off today.
Yes, well, I guess Merry Christmas to the 420 employees, the judicial officers of the third branch of government. They've had such a great year, and we appreciate all the work that they do in service to the people. So thank you, and happy holidays, and Merry Christmas to all of them. And yes, to our patrons, we have a closure today and tomorrow, but we'll be open again on the 26th. So again, if you check out the GuamCourts.org website, the schedule and calendar is online, so I would encourage everyone that needs to check it out to do so.
Now, are you doing magistrates today at all?
Yes, we are doing magistrates today. Okay. There will be no magistrates tomorrow, and then we'll be back on the 26th. Okay, so
now here's the hint, guys. Be very, very careful with what you're doing. Party responsibly, because if you get in trouble, I'm not saying DUIs. I'm not talking about, necessarily that. There's other ways to get in trouble with the law. And so if you get busted for something tonight and they decide that they're going to keep you, it might be a little bit longer than overnight.
Yeah, I would believe so, right?
Yeah, because if they're not magistrating tomorrow, that means that the next shot at getting in front of a judge and going home and getting a change of clothes might not be until like Thursday afternoon, right?
Yeah. Yes. At 3 o'clock, I believe, is when the magistrates are being held.
That's a long day and night in the lockup, isn't it? But the Santa Claus will still find you.
At least him and his reindeer with the red nose and the red light.
All right. Well, is there any guidance now? I'm curious about it, even though I'm not going to be here. But is there any guidance going on now on whether or not there's going to be any New Year's and any additional New Year's holiday? Looking ahead to next week, obviously you're taking the January 1st off. Is there any guidance from Adelup or anybody on whether or not they will give you the 31st off as well?
Ray, because, for us, as we were watching the Christmas Eve thing unfold, I mean, it was literally, we had our Marienda at the judiciary on Friday. Yeah. It was up until almost 3 o'clock when we saw the executive order. So obviously for us, we have to do an administrative order, which goes to the Guam Bar. It goes out to all of those folks to let them know that we're closed. We don't anticipate a New Year's Eve closure at this point. And I think it's probably safe to say that this was obviously the governor's direction relative to Christmas Eve, and
sure.
We're going to follow. I mean, we'll follow suit, but it's such it's very logistically, it's very very challenging to close the court.
Is today payday for you guys too?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. As soon as she said, "Hey, listen, the guys we're going to be paying today," we had to hustle. I mean, literally hustle last week to get make sure we had all of our stuff in line for payroll today. So yeah, it was very very challenging. I won't. I mean, I can't.
We should tell her not to do it anymore, right?
Oh, the governor's going to do what the governor's going to do, right? So and having worked for one, I know exactly that plan.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about some precedents that might have been set back in the Camacho administration that are still being used here today to make.
I think during the Camacho administration, we barely gave off those times off, so it was just we were working it through. I mean, those are some big revenue days heavy for the government of Guam. I think he gave a couple, but I mean it was, and we really thought it through to make sure that we didn't compromise public service, and I think today that's still the same case for Governor Leon Guerrero, and I think that they're looking at that as well. So we'll follow suit. I know the legislature did the same too. So obviously, but for us, we had a full calendar going into the 24th, which all got pushed back till the 26th.
Well, I tell you what, that about all I needed to find out from you is what you guys were going to be doing, and so today is not a working day over at the courts. There will be magistrates that are happening today, and then after that, it's going to be Christmas Eve and that kind of thing. So what's the plan with you and the wife and the kids for the holidays?
I think we're going to do the church thing, going to catch a Christmas dinner and just us, and we're doing our function tonight with family. So I guess Merry Christmas to everybody out there, and to you and Mana and Michael Knight, who likes to wake us up and tell us.
Merry Christmas,
yeah, that's our thing. Merry Christmas to you guys. You got anybody from the States that's back in town for the holidays?
No, everyone's home, and especially because we have the two big girls are off in college, so we'll be FaceTiming them for sure. Gotcha. Well, that's Christmas in the year 2020 anymore. There's a whole lot of FaceTiming going on. 6:57, Shawnee, Merry Christmas to you and the family. Merry Christmas, you guys. Let's see you on the other side. 888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number here to the radio station. Upper Tumon location of GWA's customer service will be open today starting at 9 o'clock, but they're only going to be open until 1 o'clock this afternoon, and then they're going to shut down the shop, and that's it. They will be able to assist GWA and GPA customers. So if there's things that you have to do with your account, you can get them done today starting at 9 until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 6:57 and change in the program. Other items in the table of contents that I think are kind of interesting. The war claims and the FESPAC bill headed to Adelup, and they will be signed. I'm sure with great flourish and ceremony. I think that there's probably going to be some vaunted speeches that are going to be made, and maybe the word hope and resilience and things like that will be used multiple times in the conversation, and certainly with regard to FESPAC history and culture and all of these other things that are highfalutin values here in this governor. Probably going to be talked about either in some kind of a speech or in some kind of a statement. I don't know that the statement has been prepared yet, so I don't think there's any signatures for anybody to review. But it would be interesting if they weren't going to, quote, act on them immediately, if somebody from the governor's office, their legal actually takes a look at Bill 181 and sees the flaws that have been pointed out by pretty much everybody that has seen it. Ken LG and Bob Klitsky and Mike Nicholas, and certainly they've got some positions to stake out in the game. But I keep coming back to, okay, is it a for sure funding source? Do we have the mechanism that we need, even in an MOU? And a point that Mike Nicholas is making, and maybe he'll make on the radio in the next hour, is so we're going to be working with and negotiating a memorandum of agreement with the Treasury Department, who now can negotiate from a position of power, and they're going to know it. What will that mean at the end of all of this for any motion on the actual payments that need to get made to these people? And that's the thing, is I still don't see a mechanism in Bill 181 that would provide for the payments anytime soon for any of the World War II survivors. 6:59 and change. Coming up, I got Fox News Live. Montecillo Tyron's going to give you a look at all the big stories from, where is it? The Guam Daily Post, Jerry Roberts and the Extra Point. And as I said, if we're lucky, we'll cozy up with Congressman Mike Nicholas. It's all ahead right here on The Ray Gibson Show. This is The Point.
Another record close on Wall Street. I'm Pam Huso, Fox News. Stocks surging to new highs. The Dow adding 85 points as Boeing makes a big change at the top.
Dennis Muhlenberg, Boeing's chief executive officer and board director, has resigned. Its current chairman, David Calhoun, will now be its chief executive officer effective January 13th. Boeing says its board of directors decided a change in leadership was necessary to restore confidence in the company as it works to repair relationships with regulators, customers, and all other stakeholders.
Fox's Jenny Casola, the company embroiled in crisis following 2 deadly crashes involving its marquee aircraft, the 737 MAX. Just approved by the Trump administration, one state's plan to expand Medicaid, but it comes with a work requirement. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Yeah, Pam, the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services has approved Utah's plan to fully expand Medicaid, so those making up to 138% of the federal poverty level will be eligible. The centers had rejected Utah's initial plan to cover fewer people, and this new plan means another 40,000 adults qualify. Now, the work requirement was controversial because federal judges have blocked it in other states, but health officials in Utah says this doesn't actually force people to get a job in order to receive Medicaid. It just requires they complete an online job assessment and receive some online training, as well as show that they've applied for 48 jobs in a 3-month period, Pam.
Thanks, Jessica. President Trump's re-election campaign gets going in this battleground state.
President Trump's first campaign rally of 2020 will be in Ohio and could coincide with a Senate impeachment trial.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. The rally planned for January 9th in Toledo. America's listening to Fox News.
Did you know that home loan rates have plunged again? Would you like to take advantage of these lower rates to help lower your monthly payments? Refinancing doesn't have to be for another 30 years. It can be for 10, 15, or 20 years. It's up to you. Reduce your monthly payments. Pay off your loan earlier. At Bank Pacific, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Credit conditions apply.
Cocoa Coffee Company is now available at Circle K. Single origin coffee beans carefully sourced and locally roasted to give you the freshest cup of coffee Guam has to offer. Grab a cup that's brewed every 30 minutes or purchase a bag of the locally roasted whole beans. Flavors now serving: light medium roasted Ethiopia and medium dark roasted Jamaican Blue Mountain. Exclusively available at Circle K. With every Cocoa Coffee Company purchase, a portion of the proceeds will go towards the Cocoa Recovery Program.
Fire crews in Las Vegas are collecting clues at the site of a deadly weekend fire. 6 people were killed and 13 others were hurt when flames engulfed a downtown apartment building. Some residents say that fire and smoke alarms were not working properly.
It's very common for buildings of that vintage to have maintenance issues about the integrity of the corridor system, doors that open and close properly, and to have issues with an aging fire alarm system.
Fire Marshal Robert Nolan says investigators are going room by room, floor by floor to see if heating units were functioning. A stove being used for heat is believed to have caused the fire. A stabbing in Nashville that left 2 people dead is hitting home in Northern California. One of the victims was the brother of a professional football player.
The trouble started just after 2 a.m. inside a popular bar in Midtown Nashville. There was an argument inside the bar, some unwanted advances towards a young woman. That argument was then taken outside, where it turned violent into a fight involving a number of people, including one man who stabbed several people in the side. 3 people who were stabbed were rushed to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. One is recovering. 2 of them have died. One of the dead is Clayton Beathard. He is a college quarterback and also the younger brother of San Francisco 49ers NFL backup quarterback C.J. Beathard. A lot of the 49ers know the Beathard family well, and many of them today are mourning the loss.
Fox's Steve Harrigan. Police are searching for suspects. 'Tis the season for giving, and 3 pastors in Virginia are doing their part. They've donated $17,000 from their church's budget to pay off lunch debt at 2 schools. According to the Washington Post, about 75% of school districts nationwide report unpaid meal debt. Pam Puso, Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
A diamond ring turns into a black pearl and hangs shimmering in the sky.
Join 93.3 The Point for a spectacular celestial event. On the evening of December 26th, a rare solar eclipse will take place just before sunset.
We see the sun's atmosphere, normally not visible.
Most of the sun will be blocked during the eclipse, leaving only a ring of fire visible, and we have the best seats and the safest way to watch it.
It's one of the great wonders of the solar system.
Join us at the Point Coffee Lounge at the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort from 4 to 6 p.m. on December 26th. The first 100 guests will receive a pair of Eclipse viewing glasses, a complimentary glass of iced tea, and a coupon good for discounts at Sheraton's Surfers Point Bar or La Cascada Buffet Restaurant. Join us for the Point's 2019 Eclipse Viewing Party, December 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the beautiful Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort. Brought to you in part by Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort, Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, and your Sky Watching friends at 93.3 The Point.
Good morning. It's 7:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron, and here are some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A man facing criminal charges in connection to the murder and rape of a teen in Dededo is fit to stand trial in the Superior Court of Guam. Defendant Brandon Michael Acosta appeared before Judge Vern Perez. The details of his evaluation were not disclosed, but it was said that the results will not affect his going to trial. That trial has been scheduled to begin on January 15th of next year. Acosta has admitted to his part in multiple home burglaries reported in June of 2018. He allegedly told at least one other inmate that he murdered Tamika Nauta in June of 2018. Acosta said that the killing was a mistake, and he blamed his actions on his use of methamphetamine. Federal defendant William Matanonya, who stands accused of influencing a juror in a federal drug case, may have to wait a bit longer for his case to go before a jury. Defense attorney Bill Gavers filed an unopposed motion on Monday to continue trial, which is set to begin on January 7th. Gavers told the court that he has a separate jury trial in the Superior Court a week earlier. The trial will take a bit longer than originally thought. He may not be available. Matanonya was originally set to go to trial in November, but the trial was delayed to allow defense more time to review the thousands of pages in the documents and discovery in that case. Matanonya allegedly tried to influence a juror to vote not guilty and to also influence other jurors. He's also accused of lying to investigators. The indictment was handed down earlier this year against Matanonya and his brother, retired Guam police officer and FBI task force member John Boom Matanonya. John Matanonya is charged with a second count of obstructing justice. He's also accused of knowingly and intentionally conspiring to distribute 50 grams or more of methamphetamine between January 1 of 2016 and January 15th of 2019. Two men were arrested on drug charges after they were stopped by police in Jigo this weekend. 25-year-old Alvarez Justin Sog and 34-year-old Jones Akim were each charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. Sog is additionally charged with open container of alcohol, resisting arrest, and expired vehicle registration. According to court documents, police pulled over the vehicle for an expired registration when the officer noticed an open can of beer. Sog is accused of tensing up and turning away from officers who then told him not to resist and were able to control his wrist. During a search, police found a black pouch which also contained a clear plastic bag containing methamphetamine. Sog told officers that he owned the bag, but the meth belonged to Akim. More news after this.
Chili's 2 for $25 is back. Start with an appetizer to share. Then choose 2 entrees like our mouth-watering old-timer with cheeseburger or the Cajun chicken pasta, grilled chicken with penne and Alfredo sauce, and chili spices. Feeling extra? Upgrade to a personal fajita or our famous half-rack ribs. Bring a friend or a date to Chili's and get 2 entrees for $25. Located on the second floor of Tumon Sands Plaza. Chili's. More life happens here.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Final test results have been made available, and it appears that concerns over exposure to Agent Orange are substantiated. The soil samples taken last year, they showed traces of the herbicide components of Agent Orange. The herbicide was banned from use in the United States since the early 80s. The findings are stated in a report to the Guam Environmental Protection Agency, and at the request of the government of Guam and Joint Region Marianas. The Guam and U.S. Environmental Protection Agencies collected samples from 5 subsites in off-base areas that were believed to have been exposed to Agent Orange. Those sites include NCS Road along Route 3 and in the vicinity of Potts Junction, areas of Teetson near the airport and Anderson Air Force Base. It was just in March of this year that a group called Agent Orange Survivors of Guam had asked the U.S. Congress to support a bill that was introduced that would help with medical treatment for 52,000 military personnel who've been exposed to Agent Orange. The exposure while serving on Guam, the CNMI, American Samoa, and Johnson Atoll decades ago. If passed, this bill could also provide financial assistance to residents who are in need of medical care as a result of their exposure. And they're set on finding the culprits, and the Guam Animals and Needs officials have increased the reward for information leading to the arrest or indictment of the person responsible for a string of deadly pet poisoning in Mauricio. It's now $2,000 being offered to anyone who offers information that leads to the arrest of these folks. Gaines says hopefully this reward will spur someone to share information that'll bring the killer to justice. 20 pets, 18 dogs and 2 cats were from 3 different families were poisoned in Mauricio. Anyone with information should call the Guam Police Department or Gain at 653-4246. And those are some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Here now is Ray with your weather.
It says partly cloudy skies today with isolated showers. Winds from the northeast 15 to 20 miles an hour, decreasing to 10 to 20 miles an hour tomorrow. Highs around 88 degrees, overnight lows 77 degrees. Sunset tonight for Christmas Eve is going to be 6 o'clock, and by tomorrow morning, 6:40, the sun will rise. It will be Christmas Day on Guam. And according to Michael Knight, Duke Sky Talker and the Points Weather Center, this is going to be a grill marks kind of Christmas Day.
Yeah, it really should. The winds will be up there, but not quite as strong as they were this weekend, so you won't find as much sand and stuff blowing around and other things, papers and that sort of thing. Still, there will be some wind out there, but it'll just make it nice and cool. Checking radar real quick here, we can see a trade wind disturbance. It's pushing on towards us. That'll push through sometime in the lunchtime range, maybe early afternoon. We'll get a few showers. It shouldn't be too bad, but it will come on through. And when it does, then the winds will pick up just a bit to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So it will be a little breezy, but not too bad. Looking at satellite out there, we can see this surge coming on in. That's the modeled appearance of those clouds off to the east as they creep on this way. The leading edge just about to get here. So we can look forward to that for the next couple of days. We do see severe tropical storm Phanphone, which is out there by the Philippines, now going to move into portions of the Visayas tomorrow and kind of bring them a Grinchy type Christmas. And so we wish them the very best. But for us, it's going to be out there. It's going to be really, really nice.
Gotcha. Let me see here. 7:13 in the morning. 888-8255. 888-TALK. Just checking now. I want to see where this where the caller is going to be coming in from. Expecting Congressman Michael Nicholas at some point this morning to get me caught up. His thoughts on Bill 181 as it makes its way to the governor's desk. The Senate seat that he's talking about for Guam and the other territories. Is that Mike on one? Roger that. 888-8255. 888-TALK. We'll get into the break in a couple of minutes, but very rare opportunity to, well, rare for everybody else, but you know, Mikey and I are tight. And so an opportunity to spend some time with Congressman Michael Nicholas on Christmas Eve on Guam. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Ray. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and the family, and it must be great having just about everybody surrounding you for the holiday.
Yeah, it's always nice, you know. I mean, that's what makes everything special. So we're definitely appreciative.
Well, and I'm appreciative of the love that you've shown me here. You got me the Christmas ornament from the house building. I thought that was really nice, and then the family picture, which is absolutely cute because you got one of the kids covering his face.
Yeah, Caleb's always a character, especially when it comes to the picture taking. And so we got one of those shots in during the sitting, and we figured, hey, let's throw that out there because that just captures his personality.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, I tell you what, we've got some issues around here locally to go over. Bill 181 has passed the legislature, and it's on its way to the governor's office. I anticipate at some point somebody is not even going to bother reading that. They'll just go ahead and start writing the press release and talk about how great it is that they've got a mechanism here that includes the same fatal flaw as the one that Congresswoman Berdalio put together a couple of years back.
Yeah, it does. You know, as I was reading over the bill when they were when they finally allowed people to be able to take a look at it. Of course, this was after they were already moving it forward. The bill creates the fund for the governor to transfer money into, and it authorizes the governor to be able to enter into an MOU with the Treasury. But there is no language in the bill to actually allow for checks to be cut by the government to the war claimant, which is the exact same problem I'm trying to fix in the federal law because the language was also missing on the federal law. And I'm just amazed at the irony of this rush for a local war claims bill and the passage of one that includes the very same mistake that I'm working to try and fix on the federal law. And so even with the passage of 181, even after they finally get an MOU with the Treasury, they finally get claimants to be able to sign over their checks, and they finally reach out to them, and all that communication stuff has to happen, they still won't be able to get their checks unless they pass another law. And
the assumption that I have is,
and it's frustrating.
My assumption is by the time all of that happens, there will have already been action on I forget the number 1365 in Washington D.C. Correct?
I'm anticipating that, but here's my worry, Ray. Let's say that that they move at a fairly decent pace as well, and we have war claimants initiate on the local side the local process, and then all of a sudden we pass 1365. What's going to happen to a claimant who signs over their check on the local side and then 1365 passes? Are they not going to get their 1365 check and have to wait for a local check? And how much longer are they going to have to wait for that process? Because is the Treasury going to say, we're not sending you your check because you already signed it over, you have to wait? Which means they're going to end up waiting even longer.
Yeah, well, the answer is nobody knows because I asked for yesterday from the Speaker's office a copy of the draft of the Memorandum of Understanding, and I don't have it yet. And my understanding from, I think, a news story in today's Guam Daily Post is it doesn't exist yet, although no MOU yet. According to language in Bill 181, the bill itself becomes effective upon the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the United States government and the government of Guam, which sets out the administrative process that must be adhered to for the government of Guam to pay awards. As I said, I have not. I'm told a draft exists, that they were showing it around, but I have not yet seen, and I don't believe anybody else in the media has gotten a copy of that draft MOU. So I don't know. I don't know what the procedure is going to be, and what happens if somebody signs their adjudicated claim over to the government of Guam for the government to collect from the fund, the Section 30 amount.
Yeah, no, Ray. Like I said, I don't know how this thing's going to work, and even if there is a draft MOU, whose draft is it? Is it the Treasury's draft? Is it Guam's draft? And so what I'm advising local media when they're asking me these questions is go and FOIA the governor for all their communication between Adelup and the Treasury regarding war claims.
Sure.
And they're going to have to turn over every email and every text message, and then you can comb through that and you can see, is the Treasury actually committing to making this thing happen? Because, Ray, from my vantage point, if the Treasury wasn't willing to cut checks under the existing flaw in the current law on the federal side, why are they what legal authorization are they going to have to enter into an MOU with the government of Guam to cut checks that way?
Without a note from Congress saying, okay, you can do this now. There is an FAQ that was put out by Chirag, but using Tina's voice. What is the timeline for the hotline? And the answer is, when we were last debating this measure on the floor in August, I was asked to hold off for a month by Mr. Sinicolas. You've denied that claim. Of putting a timeline on it.
For any specified period of time. What we've been saying since August is if you move Bill 181, it's going to create questions out here in the Congress that could cause objections and derail our ability to get this thing passed. That's what we've been saying. But I've never told anybody a specific timeline until just recently, because right now is the time, because I'm finally confident that January, I think, is going to be the month that we're going to finally get this over the line. Based on my communications out here with not only the House side, but I've actually spoken to Senator Schumer, who is a minority leader, and our contacts on the Republican side as well, to include the work Juan Carlos has been doing as our Guam Republican National Committee man. All the feedback right now is that this thing looks like it's going to be a go for January.
All right. Today, months later, the FAQ goes on. He is still asking for more time. To date, other than statements by our congressman on the radio, and I'm assuming that this is just solely on this program, I have no concrete evidence to even state that it has even cleared the Judiciary Committee. Is there a way that you can identify for me exactly where, and you say it's in the hotline process, but are there other committees that needed to take a look at it and sign off on it before it got into that hotline?
Well, first of all, before Sherrod putting out the speaker's little, list there, all they got to do is call me and ask me. The speaker even has them in WhatsApp. And there's been zero communication from the legislature to get any kind of honest answers to the people of Guam. I was waiting and ready to call into this session again to be able to give them the updates, and they did not want to have any discussion because they did not want the motion to have the congressman on the telephone again, because the last time we did that, it didn't turn out very well for them. And so, the bill is in the hotline process in the Senate, which means that there are no members of the Judiciary Committee objecting, and it's moved through onto the Senate side for the hotline consideration. And that's the current reality on the ground.
All right. Now, a couple of other things that you've been working on there. You're looking at the possibility of having a Senate seat for Guam and the other territories. That's coming through with some mixed reaction. Some say we might as well ask for a cardinal spot in the Committee of the Sea in the Vatican for the same kind of likelihood that anybody in the Republican-controlled Senate is going to be looking at a request coming from the Democrats in the territories.
I wouldn't necessarily think so. One of the things that I found out here, Ray, is that we're dealing with a lot of very rational people. And when we can sit down and articulate...
Well, I've seen the people that are on the same committee as you, Mike. Yeah, I don't know about rational.
You like to get me in trouble, Ray. You always like to get me in trouble.
Yep.
But I was talking about the Republican counterparts that I work with.
Oh, in the Senate, sure.
I've always had good working relations with them, and so I really think that the Republican-controlled Senate it's something that we really need to articulate to them. And I think that when we do, we should be able to get fair consideration for the proposal.
Is it now constitutionally? Is there a path for something like that? I know that you've got another HR working, but would that be constitutionally the way to go, or is there some other amendment that needs to be discussed among the two houses?
Oh, no, constitutionally totally fits. If you look at the Constitution, Article 1 is about the Congress. Section 2 limits the representation in the House to people who are elected in the states. But we still have delegates in the House.
Right.
And that's because we're non-voting. And so Section 3 also limits representation in the Senate to people who are elected in the states to represent their particular state. But we can have delegates to the Senate so long as we're non-voting. And just having that non-voting access at least gets us in the door to be able to, sit on committees, sit in these working groups, share the Guam story, share the Guam perspective. Yeah. And while it's, of course, definitely not the same thing as having a vote in either the House or the Senate, it's a long way from the current black hole that we have, where even if we have something represented well on the House side, and even if I'm able to go over and talk to senators on the Senate side, it's a world of difference when you actually have a member in there on a regular basis and everybody is taking into consideration what that member's perspective is. And getting that into the Senate, even on a non-voting basis, would just be very, very helpful for the community.
Have you talked to anybody in D.C. that have encouraged this?
We have spoken to some members of the House, and we definitely get, good feedback. They say, that's not a bad idea. Definitely look into it, and if it's doable, then let's do it. And one of the things that we're excited about is that, one thing about the Congress on the House, we don't have our own bill drafting staff in our office as individual members. We actually have a whole cadre of attorneys who work on our bills. And so, our legal people in our office, they'll kind of initiate the idea and they'll walk it through. But we have a whole army of lawyers looking at these things, and they'll be the first ones to come back to us and say,
that it can't be done
because of that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And so when the bill gets drafted, yeah.
I think it'll
And
be.
so
I think it'll be
we're
interesting.
It's through that hurdle.
Yeah, we'll see what the other guys have to say about it as well. I've not yet heard anything from Khalili's office or Amada's place. Now, there was a measure that came through that we heard about that involved the census and the Department of Interior, and they screwed up and underpaid Hawaii by the tune of about $12 million. And the fix from the logical fix coming out of the Department of Interior was, we'll just hold back payments to Guam to the tune of about $4 million for 3 years. And I thought, no, that is a bad idea, and it might be a logical fix, but is actually going to hurt things here on Guam, exacerbate our situation here with compact migrants. Has there been another look at another option to make Hawaii whole on that without screwing Guam?
Yeah, it's not the logical fix. It's definitely the easy fix, and that's the least resistance in terms of how they can go about recovering that error. But the reality is that that's a census mistake. And when the census makes mistakes, the census needs to pay for its mistakes. And the census is the deepest pocket of the table right now. We just approved $1 billion worth of funding for the census to be able to, carry out its obligations going into 2020. We're having communications right now with members in the House, particularly the Appropriations Committee and the Committee of Jurisdiction over the Territories. And we're basically saying, look, this is a census error. The census needs to correct this error. And so there's a possibility that the funding will come from there. But definitely all the territories, and Hawaii, in fact, has joined us in pushing back and saying, no, we're not going to offset this with any other jurisdiction. This is a census error. The census needs to pay for its error.
Yeah, and don't hold out on Guam anymore. And I'd love to see if we can start using that as some kind of a how do you want to say, a precedent moving forward, so that they can start looking again at the compensation back to Guam. The Senate has passed the spending bill with the Medicaid funding that has been signed by the president today.
I'm not sure if it's been signed today, but it would have to be. I mean, we want to avoid a government shutdown, so I'm already assuming it's signed, and we're going to have that Medicaid relief coming our way.
All right. Well, that's good news as well. Looking to see if there's anything. One other thing I want to talk about. You'd asked the governor to see if they could appoint somebody to represent the Guam Museum before the Smithsonian. Have you got a name yet?
No, we have not gotten any kind of information from the governor's office. It's quiet as crickets coming from them. And we reached out in good faith. We're trying to get an affiliate relationship with the Guam Museum and the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian folks said, hey, just send us a name. We'll definitely jump right on it. And we sent a letter to the governor, almost 3 weeks ago, I think, asking them to just name somebody, and we'll get the ball rolling. And we haven't gotten anything. So that's where we are.
You and Jimmy Moylan. There's no love coming from the Adeloop for you. Miguel, I want to say thanks very much for the time here this morning. I appreciate your thoughts on just about everything that we've talked about. I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, and we'll talk about 2020 when it gets to be 2020.
Which will obviously be sooner rather than later.
Any message for the people of Guam from Washington, D.C.?
Oh man, yes, absolutely. I miss my island, and I miss our people so much. I just want to thank all of you for all of your love and support over this past year. I'm so grateful to be your congressman, and I'm really hopeful that we can get this, not only this war claims thing through, but all the other optimistic things that we've been talking about. And at the very least, we were able to get the Medicaid relief just in time for Christmas. And I just want to wish all the people of Guam a very merry and a very blessed Christmas, and just please be safe. And I can't wait to see you all when I get back and do my congressional address on January 6th.
January 6th. We'll be together. 7:26 in there, 7:29 in the morning. That's Congressman Mike St. Nicholas. I'll talk to you soon, friend. Have a good Christmas with the family in Washington, D.C., and representing us. We do have to take a quick break. Jerry Roberts is coming up eventually with the Extra Point. Montecillo Tyrant's got headlines up as well.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his Smile team. Suite 119 in the East-West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his Smile team.
They make smiles happen.
I see that. Party with us on New Year's Eve at Kento's. Ring it in 2020 and Kento's 10th anniversary. There'll be live performances by Instajam and Super Club and music by DJ Daryl Lazama and Ryan the Mixologist. General admission, $20. That gets you a couple of drinks and an appetizer. There's a champagne toast, $500 balloon drop at midnight, so don't miss it. December 31st. Kento's is over at the Hyatt, and that's a big deal. Another big deal happening on the 31st. You can save almost $900 on a complete Kinetico non-electric reverse osmosis drinking water system. Get it for the house. Call American WaterTech 649-2301 to find out more. American WaterTech, a passion for improving lives through better water. And American Present Lines, APL, better, what do we sell? Local presence? No, global presence and a local home in Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your specialty care needs.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Sabine Chargaloff online says, Democrat, Republican, can we just stop all the middle school bull and just do what is good for Guam? Boy, I wish it was that. I wish it was that easy. Keenan McCausland says, I miss kissing the baby Jesus after Christmas Eve Mass and the choir walking around the village so we can be blessed by the baby Jesus. That was one of my favorite jobs as an altar boy. And again, you're walking around with the baby Jesus with my buddy Rudy Duenas. Sherry Uriarte's online, cousin Ted, and Ken LG, who says, I've already FOIA'd the governor's office for documents relating to an MOU with Treasury to reimburse GovGuam. The clock is ticking. Hafa Eric Rosario, Lou Mendiola, and Greg Cruz. Merry Christmas to all of Ray Gibson Show staff. Awesome news always. And the grunting that you hear in the background belongs to Jerry Roberts, who is about ready for the extra point today. Good morning, Jerry. How you doing? Sounds like you got the same thing in your throat as I do this morning.
Just came up this morning.
Exactly.
My son's got it, and I think that somehow we picked it up the same thing.
Stop
drinking from the same glass.
I don't know. I'm all high on Dayquil now, but I suppose I'll survive all of that. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. And I saw a quote this morning that I really liked. It was, it said that it's tough to get to your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks.
Huh.
And that Winston Churchill. So I think how that applies.
That's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
Social media. Politics.
Well, the trick on social media is just keep reading, just keep scrolling.
Keep scrolling, man. Somebody
is going to say something that is going to trigger you, and just keep going, guys, and let's not get our knickers in a knot over all of this stuff here. Dave Eckert's online. Say hello to Dave.
Hey, Dave.
He's out there.
How you doing?
He seems to be doing all right. I gave him a memory of the Christmas party, the KUAM Christmas party in '79, when he pulled your toupee off and everybody in the room was shocked because not all of us knew that was a rug. And now Jerry Roberts is totally and completely clean. 7:33 and about time for it's actually time for headlines, but Mike St. Nicholas takes up a whole bunch of time with his debrief from Washington D.C.
He's so verbose. The guy just never stops talking.
Well, he knows he's calling talk radio. That's why. So
I guess that's what it is. I don't
know. 2 times Jerry Roberts. You got him on the radio. You'll also get him in the work zone. Will routines revolutionize your 2020? I don't know what it means, but if you want, pick up a copy of the Guam Daily Post and take a look at
Habits, routines.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about.
Okay, and now it's time for Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point, brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
Today, more ways we can take care of our most important body part. We're looking for ways to keep our brain in the best possible condition, and that's up next on the Extra Point.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
A homeowner's policy protects much more than just your house. It also protects you against claims from someone being hurt on your property. If a visitor is injured at your place, how much are you covered for? The smart thing to do is get the answer today.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
Ever notice how that one perfect holiday gift is just out of reach? Or how sales on the stuff you want all come at the same time? This season, plan ahead with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. Now you can afford to be nice without being naughty. For more details, visit FHB.com or any branch to apply. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Yesterday, we revealed the first 3 ways to maintain good brain health. We talked about having a healthy heart. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, and diabetes all increase the risk for neurodegenerative diseases by impeding blood flow to the brain. Second was getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, which allows the brain to clear out toxins called beta amyloids that can lead to Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Optimal sleep also is a key to being at our best during the day. Third was eating well. Whatever that means to you, the key is to eat a heart-healthy and brain-healthy diet. All the information you need is online to design the right food plan. Number 4, move your body regularly. You don't have to be a triathlete, run every day, or pound iron 5 times a week. That said, a large Canadian study found the more physically active adults were, the higher they scored on tests of memory and problem solving. Walk for 30 minutes several times a week, swim, dance, and work in some resistance exercises. Leg workouts are great. As researchers say, when you use your legs in weight-bearing exercise, the brain receives signals that spur it to make healthy new cells. Didn't know that. Exercise boosts blood flow to the brain, and studies have shown it can increase the size of the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory, which naturally shrinks as we age. Number 5, connect with people. Socializing is another key factor in keeping our brain in top condition. As blood circulates to different parts of our brain when we're communicating with others. Spending too much time on our phones and living virtual lives is not nearly as good for us as being with real, live people. And number 6, do new things. I've been pitching the concept of lifelong learning ever since we launched the Extra Point. It's absolutely critical to building new skills throughout our lifetime. Every time you try something new, you are helping your brain, even if you're not very good at it. There's lots of things I've always wanted to do, and I'd probably be lousy at them, so I never tried. Now I've got the ultimate excuse. Jerry, you're a horrible tennis player. Thanks, I'm helping my brain. Jerry, you're the world's worst cook. That's right, and it's good for my brain, too. Jerry, your singing is like nothing I've ever heard before. Yeah, glad you like it, and my brain feels great. If somebody tells you that doing brain games online is beneficial for health, you can tell them right back that it's more helpful to take part in real-world skills and activities. Let's cut to the bottom line. There is nothing more important than the health of our brain. The 6 ways mentioned will help. Heart health, better sleep, eating right, regular exercise, connecting with people, and trying new things. If you're not already doing these things, start now. Go to GuamTraining.com and download Extra Point number 473. Give your brain a Christmas present that will last for a lifetime. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and do something good for your brain today, and Merry Christmas, one and all. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
And Merry Christmas to you, Jerry Roberts,
you,
and the entire family. Looking forward to seeing you on the other side when it gets to be Thursday morning here at the radio station. Programming note, you'll be working with Chris Duenas for a few days. He's going to be taking over the show, and I'm taking off for New Year's. So really? Chris Duenas will be hosting in my stead.
All right.
I think you're going to enjoy that.
It'll be good.
Yeah, because you probably need to fix all kinds of stuff with him. You almost got me all fixed up. Now you got to start working on him. That's Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point, brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services. About time for us to jump into headlines. Brought to you by Lolita Kemet of Remax Diamond Realty. Realty for all your real estate needs. Give her a call at 688-6743. Auntie Loli is at 688-6743. Now with news from the Guam Daily Post, here's my baby sister, Mata Silva Tyron.
She's the first Guamanian to be named ambassador. Yuri Kim confirmed by the U.S. Senate as the U.S. ambassador to Albania. Her confirmation also marks the first time a Korean-American woman represents the nation as an ambassador. A woman charged with attempting to smuggle drugs into the Department of Corrections has been spared jail time. Roxanne Hokog, been charged with 12 others, was given a 5-year suspended sentence. She'll remain on supervised probation and will pay a $15,000 fine, but was applauded for her efforts to stay clean and accept guilt. And Gain is offering a $2,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest of the people or person who poisoned 20 dogs and cats in Maritzo. The dogs and cats died after being poisoned. Anyone with information should call the Guam Police Department or gain. And those are some of your headlines from the Guam Daily Post. For more on these stories, pick up a copy of the paper or log on to their website at postguam.com.
I see that 7:39 in the morning, and that's iConnect time. Give them a ring at 888-8888 and ask them how they're going to save you some money in the coming decade. Mobile, internet, even push-to-talk plans at iConnect.
Lolita Kamet from RE/MAX Diamond Realty, a friendly, hardworking, and passionate RE/MAX professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military, and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet from RE/MAX Diamond Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
Well, this is kind of amazing. There is actually some traffic working today. You might see some traffic if you're headed on this Marine Corps Drive over by, that's what I thought it was going to be. Everybody is heading to Ross right now, and there's lots of people trying to get onto the road that takes you into the GPO area, and I'm looking at all of that right now. It's going to be, you're going to busy up all the way to St. Anthony School over in that direction. You might also find some traffic coming up Santos Hill down at the Weston towards Marine Corps Drive. Once you get on Marine Corps Drive, shouldn't be too much that is going to be slowing you down. A little bit of traffic out of Route 3 onto Marine Corps Drive. A little bit of southbound traffic that is headed in your direction. So if you can, get onto Marine Corps Drive as quick as you can. Stand by 1. Something's making a dinging noise. Hold on. And it looks like that is all I need to worry about if I was going to be in traffic. 4 is looking good. 10 is looking good. A little bit of traffic on the way down to Big Navy and Sumai. So expect some delays through there as well. 741, that's right now traffic here on The Point.
Howdy, folks. I'll never forget that fateful day. I was having a lovely ride with my KFC biscuits when, boom! An easily avoidable accident resulted in a collision of flavors that became my most delicious creation yet.
New KFC Cinnabon Dessert Biscuits. Get it with every 12-piece meal. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
It's the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. Christmas Eve, Guam. Christmas Eve. And normally be a little bit busier around town and in the roads and all of that because there'd be school. Well, yeah, there'd be school. There'd be, federal work getting done. But President Donald J. Trump gave all the federal employees a day off. And the only exception to that I can think of is some folks that are working over at the post office. They're going to be going till about noon today. I believe that deliveries are going to be going on all the way through their regular delivery schedule for today, and like everybody else, they're going to be off tomorrow.
Those guys work around the clock because when I went exercising this morning, they were already at it.
Well, the other thing that they've got to be doing is there's $700,000 worth of tax refunds, and if all of those got out in the mail yesterday, then the crew has been working all night to put them in boxes and get them ready to get delivered. 7:43 in the morning. Now, a couple of things before I get to the other Governor Leon Guerrero. That's Ken LG. A couple of Christmas points. No doubt there's people that you're going to be shopping for and you don't know what to get them. There is this. Give them the gift of disaster preparedness. This is an actual thing. This is a story. Amazon has it covered for about $200. Your family of 4, even the dog, can rely on the Emergency Zone Urban Survival 72-hour bug out /go bag survival kit. Huge backpack that is FEMA compliant. There's food and water. Enough that will be good for 5 years. Emergency blankets, weather protection, medical supplies, and plenty more. It might be too late to order this from Amazon at this point, but you still ought to be able to put something like it together. You go and get yourself a nice bag from over at what's the name? Any store that sells a backpack, and start filling it up with stuff that you need. And in this day and age, if you need a go bag and a go kit, chances are very good that somebody is not going to have prepared their own. So make sure that you've got a weapon inside yours. That's one of the theories. And think about maybe a pair of shoes or something like that you can wear. Certainly something sturdy, because in the unlikely event of some kind of cataclysm, the roads are probably going to be impassable. You're not going to be able to drive, so you're going to have to leg it everywhere you go. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago and then completely forgot about doing it because squirrel. Anybody going to get married? Anybody going to get proposed to on Christmas Day? It's not unheard of. I've done it before. This is something to think about. When is the best time to do this? Now, if you started dating, if you got serious about 6 months ago, about July, the first week or so of July, they say the number is 172 days. University of Chicago polled married people and found that, on average, it took them just 172 days to decide that they wanted to get married. That's about 6 months. You go backwards from where we are here, about the first week or so of July. So if you have been together since about the 4th of July, maybe that was your first big holiday together, because fireworks and parties and things like that. If you've been together since that long, maybe trip down to Donson's, because they're going out of business and they're getting rid of all of their jewelry, maybe even including engagement rings.
Maybe
and
I would
such.
suggest living together for another 100 and how many days?
72 days.
172 days, because then you'll really see their true colors and see if you truly want to.
I say just step
tie
away
the knot.
slowly and put the ring down.
Shut the bathroom door.
You see the real colors when you're living together.
Surveyed singles told the researchers they'd need about 210 days to make up their minds about their potential suitors. So if you've been together this long, it might be a good time to make the proposal, but expect another 210 days before he or she actually says yes to it. Can you feel your biological
and then
clock
maybe you
going
get to
off?
see the real colors when the wedding planning takes place.
Yep,
You
just
see the
that.
bridezillas.
So, ladies, here's the thing: if he doesn't this like tomorrow when it gets to be Christmas Day, if he hasn't, you've been together since the 4th of July, and he doesn't pop the question tomorrow, get rid of him.
No, you can ask him.
If he hasn't asked you by this time, what do you think the answer is going to be? This is Mana and I enabling each other to give you a hard time with your life. It's 7:46 in the morning. Coming up, the governor's and lieutenant governor's holiday message to the people of Guam. But before we do that, I got to check in with the other Governor Leon Guerrero. That would be Ken Leon Guerrero for his morning report. Good morning, Ken. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Merry Christmas to you. We're not frowny-facing today because tomorrow is the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ, so we're treating it like a Friday, so no frowny faces.
I'm smiling.
Good man. Good man.
Well, I was listening to your conversation with Mike, and I was just thinking how ludicrous it is that our legislature continually puts out such bad legislation. And that bad legislation tells me that, they're not thinking these things through. And in the case of Bill 181, it's the ultimate perfect example of a bad example, which oddly enough, my biggest complaint about it is, the no funding cap. And that reminds me of Simon Sanchez, which Tina Munoz Barnes also did, where she wrote a bill that basically gave whoever was going to build Simon Sanchez a blank check.
Ugh.
And so now you would thought she would have learned from her experiences and the hundreds of thousands of dollars the government spent in protest and court over the matter, that she would think, before I write another bill, let me think this bill through. But then, with Bill 30, she didn't think that through. And now with this one, she didn't think this one through. And as a result, what it's doing is it's artificially raising the hopes of our seniors, because with the everything that's built into this bill, there's no way there's going to be any checks cut for a year or more.
Well, just the agreement with with the Treasury Department. I mean, there's no requirement for them to get into a deal with us. And even if they did, would there still not to be some administrative vehicle, i.e., another HR that rolls through that gives the authority to Treasury to enter into this agreement with Guam?
Well, you see, the Treasury would actually need to get permission to do something like this.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, there has to be some administrative vehicle, i.e. an act of Congress that allows them to do this, which is exactly what Mike's trying to do now. The bill is in hotline. Listen, here's the fear that I've got is somebody from the Treasury Department has got a Google alert that went off that said, oh, Guam's going to do this deal, and he'll call the guys in the Senate, tell them to pull it out of the hotline because there's a local measure that is being considered. So if we're going to do it locally, then why do we need to hotline the measure in D.C.?
Well, like I said, the old carpenter's adage, measure twice, cut once.
I do.
It doesn't work here at the legislature. It's cut, then measure. And we see that with this bill. We saw it with Bill 30. We saw it with the casino gambling bill. We see it with a large number of bills that are coming out of this legislature. And it's not a large number. I think we're up at 61 bills that have passed this year so far. And the majority of them are basically government technical adjustments and corrections, with a few pork barrel bills thrown in for good measure.
What those 61 measures, what in there has the capacity to change my life? Does it make driving on Guam's roads any better? Does it educate the kids anymore? Does it get us out from under the thunderous weight of this meth problem that we've got here on Guam?
Yeah. None of those. Even though those were the primary commitments of the senators, what they ended up passing was the recreational marijuana bill, one of a few that actually benefits the public, but they institutionalized the 5% tax, made it forever.
Forever.
And then they made the 1% tax retroactive after they fixed it, and made that one forever too. So what they did basically is guarantee that the size of government of Guam will continue to grow, because it's like feeding a bacteria. The more food you put in it, the bigger it gets. Mm-hmm. And so now we have a population that's not getting any wealthier, and certainly not getting healthier, and yet they're increasing all the costs of living across the board for the residents who do decide to stay here. And, the whole point of every single one of them ran on three principles. We are going to stabilize government of Guam, and we're going to make it more transparent. We haven't seen that. We're going to attack.
Well, I would say that it's less transparent now. I'd say it's less transparent. Even when you've got senators, even when you've got minority senators on the floor of the legislature saying we need to have debate on this bill, and the answer is no. You're procedurally found out of line and beyond your capabilities as a minority member of the legislature, and you're gavelled down. As far as I'm concerned, that speaks less to transparency.
You're absolutely right there. I mean, it's turning into. We'll see how we're doing on. I sent my FOIAs into the administration for documentation, letters, and emails concerning any negotiations with Treasury. So we'll see what that really looks like.
Well, and the other thing Mike was saying was they had the opportunity to call him up. He said he was standing by. Told him, you got any questions about what's happening with my measure in Washington, D.C., you're more than welcome to call. And they didn't. I know for a fact, because I was contacted by the Speaker's office. They wanted to know what time I had Mike on the phone that morning so they could listen to it and glean where it was based on that. And if they had really listened to the conversation, they would have known exactly where the measure was. But they were like, their excuses outside of some radio interviews. We have no idea if it's even passed the judiciary. Well, it couldn't have gotten to hotline unless it had passed judiciary.
Well, that's where, unfortunately, for a lot of the sitting senators, the Speaker at the top of the list, their true colors are shining through to the public, and the public is paying attention to these types of activities, because supposedly these people we elected are supposed to be working together for the benefit of the people of Guam. But when we have such blatant partisanism in the legislature, to the point where Republican senators that we elected are not allowed to get into positions of power and authority, not allowed to get their bills out on the floor for fear that it might be a good bill, it might benefit the public, and they don't want any Republicans to get credit for doing anything good.
No, just the Republicans, that they like.
Yeah,
because there's some of that. There's some of that there as well.
Yeah, I'm going to address that in a future op-ed that I already sent to PDN. I hope it runs very soon.
Okay. Yeah, because I got to say, I'm disappointed. It would be easier to stand up to the majority if you had a united minority, and they have the absolute opposite of that. They got people just go anywhere the wind blows. 7:54. Listen, I gotta let you run here because I know how busy you are. Merry Christmas to you and the rest of the LGs.
Merry Christmas to you.
All right, buddy. All right. I look forward to hearing from you on Thursday. 7:54 in the morning, 888 888-255-888-TALK. That's how to get a hold of me. That's my number. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. In fact, Janella Carrera, who works over at the governor's office, knows how to find me. And she sent me yesterday, and I want you to know, this was the highlight of my day. They sent the governors and lieutenant governors holiday message for 2019, and I'd like to play it for you now on behalf of the governor's office and everyone in Adelup.
Half a day and Merry Christmas. So much excitement builds up to Christmas. Anxious little ones can finally open their gifts under the tree, and family and friends from near and far come together to celebrate what matters most.
And it truly is the most wonderful time of year. Toy drives and food drives, there are so many efforts to ensure others who may not have the means are able to enjoy the Christmas magic this season is famous for. Thank you, Guam, for opening your hearts and sharing your blessings.
Before the holiday season ends, we invite you to enjoy the holiday home at the Government House every Monday and Tuesday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. We have Christmas trees decorated by some of Guam's nonprofit organizations. We have treats, and of course, we have Santa.
We also invite you to enjoy the lights at Skinner Plaza. On Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we have a special video mapping presentation every half hour from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. You don't want to miss this state-of-the-art video display projected onto the front walls of our Guam Museum.
And this being the close of our first year in office, we want to express our gratitude to you.
Each and every day has been a gift, and we are humbled to serve you.
Through the challenges and triumphs, and as we welcome a new year and a new decade, we continue to work towards a Guam that is safe and prosperous for all. From our family to yours, Feliz Pascuas and Viva Año Nuevo.
There it is, 7:56. I'm filled with holiday cheer. Are you not? Are you not? Hold on a second. We gotta put something else on before
they are filled
YouTube
too,
starts
something.
playing. Do I play that again later on? Do we need to?
Oh, God, do we have to?
Okay, so it's 7:57 and change. There it is, the governor's address and lieutenant governor's address, or promo for Skinner Plaza and the government house and all the things that are going on up there.
I was encouraged to see that they put the lights on the palm trees correctly, because you can do that wrong. Have you seen the Facebook meme?
Yeah, I think I might have. At any rate, 7:57. There it is. The words of the lieutenant governor and the governor as we close the year, as we bring the holiday season, at least the Christmas part of the holiday season, to a conclusion. We've got what day is tomorrow? Tomorrow's going to be Christmas Day. Programming note: we're not going to be here for folks that are watching the broadcast in the States. Sorry, you're going to have to find something else to entertain you on your Christmas Eve. We will hear as we've done in the past, take a look at how Santa Claus is going to be making all of the deliveries, because we get to be Santa Claused before anybody else, and the NORAD people are still doing that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And actually, there's a website you can go to. I have no idea what it is, but you can Google it.
Yeah.
And follow Santa, find Santa, something like that, and NORAD tracks him as soon as he leaves, which is always midnight on our side of the earth first, and then he just goes around with the dark side.
So we've got the thing until Santa Claus takes off. You can explore the North Pole and do all kinds of other stuff, and then eventually they will get to the point where they follow Santa Claus around, and it's a fun thing that these guys have been doing. I want to say since I was a little boy. Have you done anything with the internet? There was a time where oh golly, I'm trying to remember her name. Molly had a couple of boys, and what they did was you could go to a website and type in the names of the kids, and they would get a telephone call from Santa Claus. And the whole thing would be recorded, and you could go back and listen to it and hear the kids talking to Santa Claus and telling Santa Claus what it was that they wanted for Christmas, so that you could put that together and put it on your Christmas wish list. There might be more to something like that. And then they've got the guys over at Jib Jab, and there might still be time to do this, where Jib Jab is you take pictures of people and then they superimpose them. And I think the gag this year is dancing elves of one kind or another. I think somebody do me a favor, get me a Jib Jab Ken LG, somebody online, get me a jib-jab of certain people in the governor's office. Obviously, we can find pictures of Lou, we can find pictures of Josh, Tony Babout, Carlo Branch, and maybe a couple of other people, and put those on a jib-jab. Make it, share it with me, and then I'll play it online. That will be the gift from the radio show to you here this morning. So help out, would you? What? 8 o'clock in the morning already? We're KUSG. I got you. This is The Point.
Both sides dig in over impeachment. I'm Pam Puso, Fox News. In a letter to all 99 of his Senate colleagues, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer outlines his demands for additional documents and witnesses in President Trump's upcoming impeachment trial.
We say to President Trump, if you are so confident you did nothing wrong, why won't you let your men testify?
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell maintains nothing can happen until House Speaker Nancy Pelosi turns the case over.
The papers have to be physically brought over to the Senate, and we can't go forward until until the Speaker does that.
Still possible additional articles of impeachment as the House Judiciary Committee continues to press for testimony from former White House counsel Don McGahn.
The attorney representing the House of Representatives says just because President Trump has been impeached does not mean a subpoena for White House counsel Don McGahn is moot. In a filing with a federal appeals court in D.C., the House argues McGahn is a witness to several of the president's past efforts to undermine investigations into foreign interference in elections and could inform decision-making about additional articles of impeachment.
Fox's Jared Halpern, the Justice Department argues the impeachment eliminates the need to decide the case swiftly. Double-digit gains on Wall Street. The Dow up 96 points, the Nasdaq adding 21, the S&P up 3, stocks rising in part over the resignation of Boeing CEO Dennis Muilenburg due to the ongoing crisis over the MAX jet following 2 fatal crashes.
Critics, including family members of the victims, have said under Muilenburg, the company was too cozy with regulators when getting the plane to market, and then after those 2 crashes, they weren't transparent enough.
Fox's Grady Trimble, company chairman David Calhoun takes over next month. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, what's that?
A Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
My big hot pastrami?
No, my Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Get your own.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked sunflower crunch bread, topped with pickles and mustard. Finish off your meal with all new seasoned potato wedges, baked to perfection right in the restaurant. Both available for a limited time only. Subway, make it what you want.
Hafa-Day Tritons, this is Chelsea St. president of the UOG Alumni Association. I made some of the best memories during my time as a Triton. Because of this, I have committed to giving back to the G is for Giving campaign, which will help student scholarships, programs, and activities. And I encourage you all to do the same. To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to give.uog.edu by December 31st or call 735-2957.
Viva UOG!
Intense moments at a shopping mall in Phoenix. Police shooting and killing a gunman who they say wounded 2 people during an attempted carjacking. A bystander who heard screaming tried to intervene and was shot and wounded as she escaped. A stray bullet hit another woman in a car. Both of the injured women are expected to recover. Shotgun blasts have left 3 suspected home intruders dead. Police in Harris County say 3 people were killed this morning by a mobile home resident living in a Houston suburb.
There's 3 males deceased inside the home. What we know right now is it appears that they were committing some type of home invasion or attempted burglary inside the residence.
Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, the resident was badly wounded, likely by return fire from the suspects. A search in Massachusetts for the owner of several lizards that were found in cages on a street. Officials in Stoughton have posted pictures of the 6 reptiles online in the hopes that somebody claims them. So far, there's been an overwhelming response from other people who have seen the pictures, but not the owner. The lizards are being professionally cared for. Holiday travel off the charts this year. That's according to both AAA and the TSA.
More than 100 million, the most on record, will drive to their holiday destinations. Nearly 7 million will fly, the most in 16 years. And everybody else is either hopping on a train, bus, or cruise ship. Nearly 4 million Americans. The TSA says if you're flying this year, you can expect every seat around you to be filled. Now, one industry group, Airlines for America, has broken it down to an extra 72,000 passengers a day during the holidays.
That's Fox's Anita Vogel. Earlier today, travel was disrupted at Fort Lauderdale Airport after 6 inches of rain fell overnight. Pam Huso, Fox News.
Ever notice how that one perfect holiday gift is just out of reach? Or how sales on the stuff you want all come at the same time? This season, plan ahead with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. Now you can afford to be nice without being naughty. For more details, visit FHB.com or any branch to apply. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
A diamond ring turns into a black pearl and hangs shimmering in the sky.
Join 93.3 The Point for a spectacular celestial event. On the evening of December 26th, a rare solar eclipse will take place just before sunset.
We see the sun's atmosphere, normally not visible.
Most of the sun will be blocked during the eclipse, leaving only a ring of fire visible, and we have the best seats and the safest way to watch it.
It's one of the great wonders of the solar system.
Join us at the Point Coffee Lounge at the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort from 4 to 6 p.m. on December 26th. The first 100 guests will receive a pair of Eclipse viewing glasses, a complimentary glass of iced tea, and a coupon good for discounts at Sheraton's Surfers Point Bar or La Cascada Buffet Restaurant. Join us for the Point's 2019 Eclipse Viewing Party, December 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the beautiful Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort. Brought to you in part by Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort, Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, and your sky-watching friends at 93.3 The Point.
Day and good morning. It's 8:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. It's been a huge concern for many Guam residents who have raised issue over the possible exposure to a pesticide called Agent Orange, and it appears those concerns have been substantiated with the discovery of Agent Orange in soil samples taken in various sites throughout the island. Soil samples taken last year and show traces of the herbicide components of Agent Orange and a toxic herbicide called Silvex. The findings are stated in a report to the Guam EPA and at the request of the government of Guam and Joint Region Marianas. The Guam EPA and the U.S. EPA have collected samples from 5 subsites in off-base areas that were believed to have been exposed to Agent Orange. Those sites include NCS Road along Route 3, in the vicinity of Potts Junction, areas of Teedson near the airport, and Anderson Air Force Base. The herbicides have been banned for use in the U.S. since the early 80s. It was earlier this year that a group called the Agent Orange Survivors of Guam had asked the U.S. Congress to support a bill that would help with the medical treatment for 52,000 military personnel who may have been exposed to herbicides such as Agent Orange. The exposure while serving on Guam, the CNMI, American Samoa, and Johnston Atoll decades ago. If passed, the bill could also provide financial assistance to residents who are in need of medical care as a result of their exposure. She was spared from having to spend any more time behind bars. Roxanne Hokok, charged with attempting to bring contraband into the Department of Corrections back in 2017. But because of her efforts to stay clean and accept guilt, a Superior Court judge gave her a 5-year suspended prison sentence and credit for time served. Hokok will remain on supervised probation and will pay $15,000 in fines, which the court said could be converted into community service. Hokok had pleaded guilty in 3 separate cases to charges of conspiracy to give bribes, delivery of a Schedule II controlled substance, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. A crowd of supporters from Oasis Empowerment Center, the Lighthouse Recovery Center, and Toki Guam were in tears as Hokok addressed the court during her sentencing yesterday. Hokok currently works for Oasis. The courtroom and Judge Sikola stood to applaud Hokok after she told the court that she's been clean and sober for 2 years. Defense attorney James Mayer said Hokok has proven herself through her successful recovery. The prosecution agreed with a suspended prison sentence. About a dozen other people were charged along with Hulk Hogan, the conspiracy. They've all pleaded guilty to their part in the contraband case and are scheduled to be sentenced on December 26. The man facing criminal charges in connection to the murder and rape of a teen in Dededo is fit to stand trial in the Superior Court of Guam. Defendant Brandon Acosta appeared before Judge Vern Perez. The details of his evaluation were not disclosed, but it is said that the results will not affect his going to trial. His trial has been scheduled to begin on January 15, 2020. Acosta has admitted to his part in multiple home burglaries reported in June of 2018. He allegedly told at least one other inmate that he murdered Tamika Nauta in June of 2018. He said that killing Nauta was a mistake and he blamed it on his use of methamphetamine. Federal defendant William Matanotnya, who stands accused of influencing a juror in a federal drug case, may have to wait a bit longer before he goes to trial. Defense attorney Bill Gavers filed an unopposed motion on Monday to continue his trial, which is set to begin on January 7th. Gavers told the court that he has a separate jury trial taking place in the Superior Court and it may take a bit longer. Matanotnya was originally set to go to trial in November, but the trial was delayed to allow defense time to review the thousands of pages of documents and discovery in the case. He allegedly tried to influence a juror to vote not guilty and also influence other jurors. He's also accused of lying to investigators. The indictment was handed down earlier this year against Matanotnya and his brother, retired GPD officer and FBI task force member John Boom Matanotnya. John Matanotnya charged with a second count of obstructing justice. He's also accused of knowingly and intentionally conspiring to distribute 50 grams of ice between January 1, 2016 and January 15th of 2019. More news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Two men were arrested on drug charges after they were stopped by police in Jigo over the weekend. 25-year-old Alvarez, Justin Sog, and 34-year-old Jones Ekim were each charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. Sog is additionally charged with open container of alcohol, resisting arrest, and expired vehicle registration. According to the court documents, police pulled over the vehicle for an expired registration when the officer noticed an open can of beer in the car. Sog is accused of tensing up and turning away from officers who then told him not to resist and were able to control his wrist. During a search, police found a black pouch with a clear plastic bag containing meth. Sog told officers he owned the bag, but the meth belonged to Akim. And making Guam proud, Yuri Kim has been confirmed as a U.S. ambassador to Albania by the U.S. Senate. Her confirmation marks the first time a Korean-American woman represents the nation as an ambassador. She's also the first person from Guam to be an ambassador, so congratulations to her. Also, today is the start of a two-day holiday for local and federal government workers, and the Archdiocese of Agana has released their church schedule. You can pick up a copy of the Guam Daily Post for that complete schedule. And it's supposed to be payday for Government of Guam workers after the governor called for early payday. The Department of Revenue and Taxation also issued $711,000 worth of tax refunds, and those have been mailed out and should be in the mailboxes today. And those are some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Here now is Ray with your weather.
No, I'm just, I'm trying to take a look and because I'm very excited about your classmate becoming a...
yeah, that's such a cool...
Yeah, an ambassador to Albania. The question is, where the hell is Albania? Where are they sending this woman?
And can you send us a magnet?
Refrigerator magnets, please. We need refrigerator magnets. Albania Child Protective Services, hell of a post, but where's the map? They're double clicking. This is not doing what I wanted to do.
That's the Adriatic. That's not too far from Greece.
Is it?
Yeah, it's north of Greece, actually north of Macedonia. It's in the Slav states, so to speak.
Slavs?
The Slavs, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Serbia, Croatia, Albania.
I think they drink vodka there, right?
That's where they started World War I, right?
Pardon?
That's where they started World War I.
That is very close to where they started. Yeah, Sarajevo's where that started.
8:14 is 6. Yes, 8:14 in the morning. So congratulations. Well, I just got to look the thing up. But once I know where it is and who their neighbors are, then I got an idea of what life in that part of the world might have been like, and where it might be headed.
I was actually there. Everything was in black and white. It was awesome.
I was going to say it's weird stuff. 8:14 in the morning. 888-825-5888 TALK. Is there weather today? Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of weather. Most people concerned about weather tomorrow and whether it will be conducive or not to taking some of the Christmas festivities outdoors. You know what? Let the kids play outside. That's the thing. Moms and dads that grown up stay inside, have a party, and throw the kids outside, lock the doors, say, "We bought you toys, get out," and then just enjoy yourself. Yeah. The kids will be treated to partly cloudy skies, some isolated showers, winds out of the northeast up to about 20 miles an hour. Highs 88 degrees. Overnight lows should be about 77 degrees. Christmas Eve sunset at 6 o'clock in all of the usual spots, and we'll watch the sunrise tomorrow morning on the birthday of our Savior at 6:40 in the morning. And that's what things look like from here. I will put the weather radar up. Not that it makes a whole lot of a difference for most people that are going to be out today. I think it's going to be a nice day.
It really will be. I mean, what we see on the radar here actually is the next incoming surge, and it's just to the east of us, so it'll move through late morning into around the lunchtime time frame. Wow. That's like a Seinfeld episode. Anyway, so it's going to push on.
Dude, I was just thinking of Festivus. Somebody tagged me on Instagram, and it's the Festivus thing, and they're saying it's time for the airing of grievances and feats of strength. Now, I'm not capable of producing any kind of feat of strength here this morning, but we can certainly air some grievances. So in the next 20 minutes or so, we might get around to doing some of that.
There we go. We'll do the Festivus.
Yeah.
So watch for some of these showers. Actually, some of them looking kind of heavy off to the east, just due east of us. So they may move through, may have a brief heavy shower, mostly light showers, though, and it'll be short-lived and get on through. Once that happens, then the winds will pick back up and we'll be back to the dry. On the satellite, real quick, we can see what's going on. We see the mottled clouds off to the east. That is really the surge, the high pressure bringing the surge in. This drier.
I haven't updated that. Is that all right?
That's fine. No,
okay.
What happens is the drier, cooler air goes over the very moist water surface and the moisture of the tropics, and then picks up some of that moisture and trucks it along with it in the form of
That's
these
how
mottled
cranberry sauce
clouds.
is made.
It really is. So that's what we can expect as this surge continues to strengthen. If you look off way to the left, you can see some blobbage over there. Angry ball of hate. That is severe tropical storm Phanphone, which is going to be a Grinch storm for the Philippines.
Well, right. I haven't heard from anybody out there that's actually worried about it. Most of the people that I know on the Manila side of the country, and I'm sure their theory is that, go ahead, bring it, and it'll get knocked to pieces by the mountains.
Yeah, and it's actually quite a bit far south to really affect Manila very much, although they could see a little bit of rain. Mostly this is going to be the Visayas, Samar, and Leyte, and the problem there is their infrastructure is not quite up to par, so you're going to see some landslides and some other things. That's really the biggest risk with this system.
8:17 in the morning, that's news and weather together here on The Point.
Want to grow your business? Start a new venture? Or stay ahead of the competition? You can. With Docomo Pacific Smart Business Solutions tailored to your specific needs and ambitions, you can do it all. Partner with a network with best-in-class network coverage, state-of-the-art communication platforms, and a team dedicated to providing you with premium support. Call 688-2677 to start your journey to success today. Docomo Pacific Business, delivering your future today.
It says here, 8:18, Paul Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by Take Care with their proven wellness and fitness programs to encourage you and your families to live a healthy, balanced lifestyle. They've got preventative care, being active, eating right, relaxing and unwinding, and being socially connected. Most of those things you're going to be able to do over the Christmas holidays. We will forgive you the breaks in the diet. Oh, I've been unable. No, the Ray Gibson diet is one meal a day. One meal a day, and it's usually lunch. But for the last couple of days, there have been other activities that will occupy him. And generally, there's food at those other activities. So I've kind of broken with that.
Several meals a day.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm still exercising.
And beer doesn't count as a meal.
No.
Yes, it does.
It
better.
I eat like I'm training for a marathon, which I'm not. So it might be heading into 2020 a little bit heavier than normal. Celebrate the holiday season with Cold Stone Creamery. Yes, avoid the diet. Try the new Fudge Merriment ice cream cake made with... Can you just say, it's just Christmas, it's the holidays. Everybody gets a little bit more pudgy around the holidays, right? We got sweet cream ice cream and the moist red velvety cake, fudge mint cookies, and new fudge mint cookie ice cream with sprinkly chocolate drops. Drop by the mall or GPO location. Call them or order online at ordercoldstone.com. Everybody is in panic shopping mode. That is, it's time for the men to take over the shopping now. So that's why you see a bunch of guys, eyes glazed over. I need gift certificates. How many? How many you got? I went someplace yesterday and bought some. I was buying gift certificates at this place, and they were out of certain denominations already. And the lady says, well, you know, what do you want? How many do you want? And I said, about $100 worth of gift certificates. She said, okay, can we do this with $10 gift certificates?
Wow. I was behind somebody buying phone cards who had to buy $10
exactly
phone cards.
So it's around that time, guys. Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by American Medical Center. 3 locations, Upper Tumon, Mangilao, and Oka in Tamuning. Their number is 647-8262. Give them a ring and tell them you cut your finger off and find out if they're open. And then American President Lines, global presence with a local home.
Real Talk Radio is back. Welcome to The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
Eric Rosario says, I eat the beer. You the man, bro. What is it? Smug says, don't know where Albania is. Watch James Bond sometime. I almost James Bonded yesterday, except the place where I went to didn't have the gun that I wanted. I was going to Christmas myself a new gun. I was going to Christmas myself
you too?
A Walther. I was going to Christmas myself a Walther, and lucky me, they didn't have one when I went, so I wasn't able to get.
Yeah, we paid,
a
couple of trips to the gun store too.
And then the James Bondy thing, you know, with the holster, the jacket holster and stuff like that. Fun. Good morning. Just finished 5 a.m. shopping spree when everybody was still sleeping. That's Dr. Roger Martinez, among my favorite chiropractic guys here on Guam. Daryl Taggarty is also online. What's Daryl going on about? I'll find something here. There's all kinds of new posts. There it is. Merry Christmas, Ray, Mana, Michael, and the entire listening universe here at The Point. Ismail Velez, and he's got a couple of interesting emojis. I didn't know they made these until today, but this was he was posting this about the same time we were doing the governor's holiday address. And there's the green face emoji, and then there's one where the emoji is actually vomiting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so not everybody is reacting to the governor's address here, maybe the way they thought they would. Ted Lewis says, Merry Christmas, Ramon, and to all Guam. Interesting, I'm watching you on YouTube, and what a picture on a 65-inch TV. That's to be said. We got a great shot on Facebook Live. I'll tell you that right now. The Facebook Live feed is awesome. But Facebook, because there's gazillions of people out there, Facebook is going to compress it, and you'll lose certain parts, clarity, things like that in the actual Facebook feed. But if you want to see it and hear it the way we send it out, go watch it on YouTube for a day or two, day or two, and just check in every once in a while, or watch the video on demand side on YouTube, because that feed is as close as we can get to pristine around here. It's really, really interesting how they're able to work that technology with our encoders and their encoders. Yes, Mike?
Yeah, your head must be really big on that 69-inch TV. I'm not sure I'd be comfortable with that, Ray.
It would be scary. Well, imagine what it looked like when the governor and Josh Tenorio were on the screen at the same time, simultaneously, as it were. Football Monday, Packers. Yeah, oh, that's right. It's still Monday there. Okay, it's time for us to pretend to talk about sports. So here's what might be interesting to some people that don't normally, listen at this time. Some of you are already on your way to work or found your way to school or whatever, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, you're watching the show on Facebook or YouTube or The Point, going, oh, this is not the same show all the way through the hours. There's the format is wild here in the program. We got long talk segments. We got, segment where we talk with Jerry Roberts. And I didn't do the market report, so at some point I'll take a look and see where that is. Boeing, which is a major component of the Dow, is through the roof because they fired their CEO. And all of a sudden, Boeing numbers are good, and that propped up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And more on that in a little bit to tell you what happened with West Texas Crude and a whole bunch more. But there's all these these moving parts in the program. So, and I know that in some cases, you may only hear us for a few minutes when you're on the road, dropping the kids off at school or making your way to the office. But tune in from time to time at different mornings, of different parts of the morning, because it's different. And this is the part where we generally pretend to talk about sports. I am not a sports guy. I don't have the bandwidth for it. But this year, I've plugged my head into the football pick'ems, and that's been an enjoyable journey. Yeah. Sort of. And we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes.
You're doing really well. So. And I'm not doing bad. I'm only 9 behind the leader, so I'm having a good year.
Yeah. So I'm kind of enjoying the process and learning about the teams and watching with a little bit more interest in what goes on. Now, a couple of sports things to tell you about. Mike's got his deals. Where'd you put my newspaper?
I gave it back.
Here.
What?
Sorry.
He blames me for everything.
Like since we were kids. Christmas in Paradise 2K, 5K. This is going to be the last one. Say it with me now. Of the decade. It's going to take place Saturday the 28th up in Tiedzen. Showtime at 5, go time at 6. And goodies here, get them from Hornet Sports or Eventbrite.com if you want to sign up for that. Don't know what the cost is going to be. And my understanding is I think there's airplane ride grand prize in the deal, in the raffle at the end of it. And runners will stay until 10 o'clock to find out if they win in the actual raffle. There is another run tonight, and I'm going to say this not for the brave of heart, and I'll put the pictures up here. My friends over at Southern Mountain Gear get together every Tuesday, and on Tuesdays we have a little run around again. And this is what it looked like last weekend, and you might recognize some of the names and the faces of folks that are in there at Southern Mountain Gear. We meet up about 6 o'clock, 6:15-ish. We take pictures, we goof off for a little bit, and then at 6:30 we hit the road and run around again. It's not quite a 5K. You can stretch it out to 5K. If you want to, and it's absolutely free. After that, the smart guys in this group, and there's one or two, will actually call Tommy's or Prep and Order over at Stacks or Prep and Order at Pokey Fry, go pick it up, and then meet up at Carabao. And there's eating up some dinner and drinking some of the good Carabao beer and fun and frivolity with this crowd here. And
so which one of the one or two are the smart ones? They're all going to be
the guys from Southern Mountain Gear are the smart ones because they have people in their shopping at 6 o'clock at night every Tuesday night. So
smart.
There's
and they order pizza.
Dan and them are there's me and Lassie in the corner if you're looking at we're the only two brown people in the whole group. But they're my friends and I love them. So what the heck? Anyway, so there's that going on tonight. Now Mike's got another local story that we can tell you about in sports.
Yeah, the Harvest Eagles played spoilers once again, handing the JFK Islanders a 1-0 loss in this year's IIAG boys soccer title game. Harvest scored the lone goal of the contest in the 74th minute of the play, courtesy of All-Island MVP James Lee. Lee also responsible for helping the Eagles beat the Islanders 1-0 in their last regular season game, preventing JFK from going undefeated during the regular season. James scores the eventual game-winning goal towards the end of regulation. Last time the Eagles won the IIAG soccer title was back in 2008. Real quick NBA scores from yesterday. Raptors 110-3 over the Mavericks at home, 110-107. The Celtics beat the Hornets pretty handily, 119-93. The Thunder over the Clippers, 118-112. Bucks beat the Pacers quite handily, 117-89. Nuggets, 128 over the Lakers, 104. And it should be noted that right now, the Milwaukee Bucks lead the league in wins. 27 wins and only the Milwaukee Bucks. 27 wins and only 4 losses as they go into game number 32 later on today. Quite a team there. And, of course, last year the Raptors won. The Bucks were in the middle of it. It looks like the power in the NBA is kind of shifting over to the Eastern Conference now, and it hasn't been there for a while.
No, so just wait. The rebellion will take them out.
Yeah.
It'll be just a matter of time. Okay, so yesterday's games, let's go ahead and press the button on Fat Ball here. I was in love with myself for most of yesterday's early games. Yeah. I really was. I was just patting myself on the back. Yeah, I called it right with San Francisco, Atlanta, Baltimore, New Orleans, Indiana, and Miami. I mean, and Miami was a little bit easier. It was what did we call that? The junkyard battle here, but actually a decent scoring game, 38 to 35. Cincinnati really came through. The Jets broke my heart. They beat Pittsburgh. I was going for Pittsburgh on that, lost that one by a goal. And New York Giants, they won theirs, thankfully. Denver won their game against Detroit. And then here comes just a parade of losses. I had gone for the LA Chargers. They were beaten by Oakland. By a lot. It's 24-17. Philadelphia beats Dallas. Dallas, you suck. 17-9. And what happened with Seattle? Now, my buddy Gabe lives up in Seattle, and he was writing on Facebook. We're down to the end. I mean, so you can start using this excuse at the end when your team starts losing. Dude, they piled up a whole bunch of injuries over the regular season, and now it shows.
Well, with the Seahawks, their starting running back actually got injured, and he is out now. And the Seattle Seahawks are thinking about trying to bring back Marshawn Lynch to finish out the season, and the fans are really pumped about that. Frankly, I am too. You got to love beast mode. The dude just is crazy out there on the field. But yeah, Seahawks lost quite surprisingly there, and basically, they're basically doubled up there. Dallas, Philadelphia, again, one possession game. It could have gone either way, really. Same thing with Oakland Chargers. The Chargers just continually finding ways to break the hearts of their fans. They need to move back to San Diego, I think.
And I've still got time to change my mind. I'm going Green Bay Packers this morning against the Vikings.
Yeah, and of course, Kansas City crushed Chicago. But yeah, I'm still going to take the Vikings.
All right.
I think the Vikings are going to win that one at home, and I just, I could be wrong.
All right, and now the conversation about Festivus here, 8:30 in the morning, and it's worth talking about just because it's interesting. Those of you might remember an episode of Seinfeld back in 1997 where they were talking about Festivus, wanted to get a leg up on Christmas. They wanted to start their own war on Christmas, and they called it Festivus. And the cool thing about Festivus is it allows for a couple of things: feats of strength and the airing of grievances. Now, I've got a couple of grievances that I would like to air at this time and this holy time of Festivus. And if you've got some, you're more than welcome to chime in and air your grievances on Facebook. Now, it'd be easy to make these political, but actually there are a couple of things that really just annoy me that I wish in this holy time of Festivus that we can fix. One of them is when people say they're in Guam, not on Guam. Doesn't that make you nuts when you hear somebody, yeah, I was in Guam? No, you're on Guam. Not in Guam. This is not a building. You don't go into
You're on an island.
I've literally had arguments with people over there.
Right?
Yeah, but
didn't
grammatically,
it make you just want to crack them over the head with a bottle.
Yeah, grammatically, I am in Tumon on the island of Guam.
Right. You're not in Guam. Society, I don't know what it is. They tell people, especially military guys, when they first get out here, yeah, in Guam. No, you're not in Guam. You're on Guam. This is it's its own place, guys. People that walk slow at Kmart.
Oh, yeah.
You ever get in there and it just, and it's usually two girls. I'm just, because it's Festivus, I can air my grievances, right? It's two girls with, just say never mind. I'm going to say they got big butts, and they're usually walking side by side. And if you've got a shopping cart, and this is the thing, you know I'm in shop mode if you see me at Kmart and I've got a shopping cart. But most of the time I'm breathing through my nose because I'm always walking behind the slow movers at Kmart. They need a fast lane and a slow lane. They need a fast lane for guys like me that just want to go in, get my stuff, and then get out. Right, and if you just want to go on a slow little procession through Kmart, we've got a special aisle for you.
You must never go to Ross. Because not only are the people slow movers, the aisles are very, very small.
Right, so you can't get around somebody if they're slow moving.
So it's like kind of a one-way aisle.
Yeah, so I've been there, and apparently it's weird though because you expect to slow move while you're there, and then you get up to the front and wait your turn for a cashier, and if a nanosecond goes by before you move, when they say okay, we've got a cashier open on 7, if you wait as much as a nanosecond, the people behind you will start throwing their merchandise at you, right? It's like, go, they're calling you. It's like that. So, and then it's not the last one, but it's the last one for now as I'm airing my grievances. And it has to do with us being at the end of the supply chain for just about everything. But it doesn't matter where I shop. When I pick up a thing of yogurt, I'm almost always within 10 days of it expiring. It doesn't matter where you go. And I love yogurt, but I don't eat it fast enough at the house. So as a consequence, I'm usually throwing about $6 or $7 worth of yogurt away every couple of days.
Does not get bad.
Yes, we looked it up. We looked it up. Yogurt eventually gets bad.
Eventually, yeah. But
But they got the best if eaten by date on them.
And then if you buy it after the expiration or close to, it's 50 cents.
And then
cheap.
you can't eat it up to a week.
No, wait a
You can
second.
buy it marked down. Come on, it's spoiled milk.
You're poor and you're not telling me? Just,
Just
since the
frugal,
Gita
very,
thing?
very frugal.
Wow. You buy food
I don't
past
like
its expiry?
I don't like yogurt, so I never buy yogurt.
Anyway, so those are.
But it doesn't go bad.
Do you have any grievances that you'd like to air at this time?
No.
Michael? Well, Michael needs his own show.
Yeah.
Mike's going to need
You got to start
We
a core for him.
We're only got an hour and a half left.
All right, it's 8:34 in the morning. If you've got grievances, you can either call them in or post them up on the Facebook Live, and that'll be nice. Turn signals. Oh my God, can we do? Yes, I'll tell you what. Mana's going to do headlines in a second, and we'll come back, and then we'll take on some of these grievances that are now being aired on the Facebook's Live.
Are you ready for some football? The Ray Gibson Show has got your fix every day with the Points NFL Pick'em Contest. Get the latest updates as we check out the past week's performance and break down the upcoming action. Get your game on by calling the hotline at 888-TALK or sound off on Facebook Live at thepoint.gu. League members get a chance to win some awesome weekly prizes with a shot for your choice of a new GTA phone. The NFL Pick'em Contest is brought to you by Current Guam with special thanks to GTA.
8:35 in the morning. Live orchids is a gift. We were talking about somebody got me a gift that required advance notice, as in I buy it and get, because it's got my name on it. It's engraved, right? And don't ask me how I know. I already opened the package. And so I was thinking about, grabbing a couple of those for somebody else. All right, so I go on. I'm like, okay, but how long will it take to prepare this? And the lady says, 5 to 7 working days. Wow. She really got a leg up on this buy, didn't she? You want to talk about buying stuff in advance.
And you have not shopped, so...
I've done very little by way of shopping.
So
I
you
intend
have
to...
until Three Kings to reciprocate.
Well, today, I mean, like I said, there's stuff for everybody that I think is coming over to the house tomorrow, and I think that'll be all right. And everybody around here gets movie tickets, because you cannot go wrong. I tell you this right now, you cannot go wrong getting people movie passes, because they'll go. They'll use it. They're happy to get it, and so everybody around here gets a $10 ticket to go and enjoy a movie over at Agania or the Micronesia Mall Stadium theaters. And that's my Santa Claus gift to everybody. And I started working on that 7 months ago. It's 8:36 in the morning, and time for our last look at traffic. Last look at news.
I did traffic too.
From the Guam
on my
Daily
way
Post.
home.
Here's Montecito. It's the day quill, I swear. All right, what's going on?
Well, Gaines offering a $2,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest of the people or person behind poisoning 20 pets in Maritzo. The dogs and cats died after they were poisoned on Kaneni Road. Anyone with information should call the Guam Police Department or Gain. The Agent Orange survivors of Guam have been working to get support or compensation from Washington for exposure to Agent Orange years ago, and it appears their concerns have been substantiated with test samples of soil showing signs of the herbicide Agent Orange. The samples taken from 5 off-base sites from Anderson, Tidzin, and near Potts Junction. Shops could be packed today with the last-minute shoppers, and they could be a bit more cheerful for those who got paid early or who received tax refunds. The governor called for an early payday for GovGuam workers and at the same time ensured that the refunds were paid. Reverend Tax said that they mailed out $711,000 worth of checks. And those are some of your headlines from the Guam Daily Post. For more on these stories, pick up a copy of the Daily Post or log on to their website at postguam.com.
It's 8:37 in the morning, Christmas Eve, and there's great deals waiting for you over at iConnect. Reach out to them at some point, 888-8888, and ask them about how they can do that for you in 2020. That's the number for iConnect.
Celebrate your holiday festivities with dinner at Hyatt Regency Guam on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at Al Dente Ristorante. Enjoy a holiday family set menu, which includes Fiorentina steak, lobster tail, and an array of Italian favorites, suitable for up to a family of 4. Eat, drink, and be merry during the holidays at Hyatt Regency Guam's Al Dente Ristorante. To make your reservations, please call 647-1234.
Gotcha. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by a variety of people. We got my friends over at Nanbo and American Water Tech and guys at Mescla, where they've got probably the last couple of days you'll be able to take advantage of this. Two of them, two specials, seafood lau lau, and then Kahlua pork and cabbage. I like this. Pork is the gift that keeps on giving. You get a little bit stuck in between your teeth, and you can keep eating that for an hour. It's slow-roasted, smoke-laced pork, shredded, then they saute it with onions and cabbage. Serve that on steamy rice and lomi salmon. Try it today. Available in Agutya and in Tumon at the Grand Plaza Hotel. For reservations, 969-2652.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training.
Hi, I'm Jerry Roberts, and every day on The Ray Gibson Show, I get to comment on the incredibly diverse, fun, challenging, sometimes frustrating, often exciting, but always interesting world of work. I hope you'll be there with us.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts. Brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank on 93.3 The Point.
What time is KFC open tomorrow? Because red rice? No, red rice would be awesome. 20 away from 9 in the morning. And take a look at the traffic gizmo. There hasn't been a whole lot happening on the traffic gizmo all morning long because nobody is working today. It's all three of us and Dave Torrey that are on the job today, but there might be still a couple of places where we can exhibit some signs of traffic. You know, maybe not now, but figure anywhere near GPO, anywhere near Kmart, anywhere near a building that has a Ross in it, like the Micronesia Mall, anticipate some action through there, and a lot of traffic trying to get in and out of some of Guam's big roads. So there's going to be a lot of driving around today with last-minute ideas about shopping and getting all the food that you need. So just be on the lookout for each other and smile, even after you rear-end the guy. Just smile. Hey, sorry, Merry Christmas, bro. 20 away from 9. That's right now. Traffic on the point.
This Christmas, GTA announces the magic of giving. We've custom designed a line of 9 pop socket accessories that honor 3 organizations whose main goal is to help children. They are the Harvest House, Regalu Foundation, and Sanctuary Incorporated. For every customized pop socket sold in our stores, all of the proceeds will be donated to these great charities. This Christmas, come into GTA and be a part of the magic of giving. GTA, we start with you.
Interestingly enough, we had one governor prepare a holiday message or present some kind of an address, and this found its way into the WhatsApp here at 93.3 The Point, 9885874, and this is apparently somebody named President Ulufale.
I want to get rid of all the truck in America. Drugs is not good. Drugs is killing America and the kids. Let me tell you, write this down. D is for dummy. If you take the drug, you are a dummy. You are a dummy for taking a drug. The word R. R is for radical. When you take the drug, you get radical. Blood fight and fight. That's not good. Okay? When you take the drug, you become ugly. Do you want to be ugly? Nobody wants to be ugly. That's what happens when you take a drug. And G is for crazy. When you take the drug, you become crazy. Say no to drug. Stay away from the drug.
Yeah, I'm wondering where that comes from. The origin, like I said, it found its way into the Facebook or into the WhatsApp, and sharing it with you sounded like might be one of the comedian buddies out in the state of Hawaii doing some spoofing on the president. But it makes a good point, and maybe that's what we've got to start telling kids is the drugs, especially ice, crystal methamphetamine, one of those deals that will actually make you stupid, and you don't have to go too far you don't have to go too far to find stories on exactly those kinds of things. I get the magistrate report pretty much every day, and the magistrate reports never, ever fail to amaze me with some of the craziness that goes on out there and some of the things that the police officers have to deal with. And unfortunately, they deal with it. They go out there and get the stuff done, get everybody arrested properly, and then they go before the courts, and the courts are looking at them. And if you cry the right way, then And then they slap on the wrist, maybe, something like that. 888-8255-888-TALK. Hoi, Ray Gibson here in the studios of The Point on Christmas Eve Day. Good luck to you out there. For the most part, I think I got all of the things that I need to worry about for people I work with and people I love for the holidays. And now I think I'm going to concentrate on making sure that for everybody that comes to the house tomorrow, they don't get food poisoning. I think that ought to be a goal for everybody that's preparing a meal. Is let's not poison any of our friends. Well, you heard. I read the story about in the Philippines. There's this drink. It's a coconut wine, and there's hundreds of people that are in the hospital as a result of it gone bad, lumbanog or something like that, and people are drinking it because it's one of the festive drinks that they have, and they're getting thrown in the hospital for it, dying some of them. Yeah. Yeah,
is it wine or is it kind of like our coconut alcohol?
No, it's not tuba, and it's as far as I can tell, it's not aguardiente, which is a distilled product. This is coconut wine, which is a different procedure, and I've never heard of it. And I'm gonna be in Manila next week, and I was thinking maybe I'll try it, but I don't know. I think
not anymore.
Yeah, well they've banned the sale.
I have to tell you, I think it was about a week ago, I had food poisoning, and it was actually from some breadfruit, because that's all I ate, breadfruit and the spinach, and that's it, because I've been kind of fasting, going vegan, and I did this breadfruit, and it kind of tasted funny, and I was at a party, and I was telling my aunt, hey, does the breadfruit taste funny to you? And she goes, then stop eating it. Then stop eating it. So I stopped eating it. Sure enough, that night, oh my goodness, I was down, cold shivers, boom, and then, hugged the toilet bowl.
Yeah. Well, so the good news is you've lost weight.
I did. Actually, I did lose weight a lot.
I had, not to get too gross and personal about it, but a couple of years ago, I had something that, near as we could tell, might have been H. pylori or amoebic dysentery, which I had to go to the Philippines to rule out. But it was one of those things where I couldn't keep anything in my body at all, and as a result of that, I dropped down to like 158 pounds or something ridiculous like that. But the thing was, I was still running, so it might have been like one of the fastest times for me as a runner was around that time when I was sick, literally as a dog. 8:46 in the morning. Tello's on the line, and a little bit belatedly. And I got to say, you and I don't hold any punches back from each other. I am a little bit disappointed that you ended up supporting the war claims measure, and I want to say you also supported FESPAC, didn't you? You voted yes on both of them.
No, I voted. Jim and I were the only ones that voted against FESPAC.
You voted against FESPAC, but you did support the war claims, even as flawed as that bill is, and as much complaining as you did about the lousy process that the body took in ramrodding it through against the best wishes of the minority for at least a more developed conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I was the one that objected for it to going to the third reading five for voting without discussion. And then the next day, I'm the one that voted for reconsideration, a motion. I made a motion to reconsider, and it was shot down again.
Yeah.
But also now, the process, they're going to have to live without what they did, ramrodding it through. But I've always been supportive in any kind of process to pay the manamco as soon as possible. I'm not going to go through it's our greatest generation. People are passing away every day. And, even my dad is a war survivor, 90 years old.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Manamcos. I mean, I was torn between the process, and it wasn't until I spoke to Manamco and she said, I don't care how we get paid. We need to get paid, and I'd like to see that money before I pass away. Regardless of your ego being hurt or what kind of process or whatever, we need to be paid. It's our time. It's our time.
Well, I hear that, but I don't think the measure as passed, and the governor is going to sign it as soon as they write the press release. I don't think it's going to do anything. I think it makes things more difficult, and you see the problems with the bill.
Absolutely. I even gave you the timeline and how this process is going to take. It'll probably take about 7 months. And I'm hoping that HR 1365 passes in January, the end of January, where the possibilities are much higher today that it passes in January. But I know that an MOU is going to take longer than 2 weeks to put together, almost to a month and a half. And by then, hopefully, HR 1365 passes. But any process I support. Of course, what they did, the principle of it was outright wrong, and I hope the people of Guam remember that, and I'll remind them what they did in August.
I will too. Trust me, I will too. I got a list of measures that have passed over in this legislature, which just stink. They're bad bills, and they were poorly concocted and ramrodded through the process.
The only thing I felt comfortable about, well, number one, I know why they lifted the cap. They lifted the cap because there were many Manamku complaining, wait, what if I'm not part of that 735? So they lifted that cap, so they'll be able to pay everybody. Now, can they? Where's the money? That's the question. She cannot touch what we've already appropriated. That's for sure. The budget is already set in place. Whatever excess there is, then she has an opportunity. But the kicker here is that...
wait a second. Hold on. They said that they're going to take it from... the Chirag says that they're going to be taking the money out of lapses from the FY19 budget. And my understanding was that they were going to use any lapse funds or any excess. They were going to apply that towards the deficit. Now, has that changed? Because it also occurs to me that those funds were approved and allocated by the legislature for certain projects, and the legislature has their own other projects. It was transfer authority in the FY20 budget. And the question I have is, I thought that was a tight budget. What do you mean? What departments and agencies are going to be further short-handed and shorted on their allotments to take care of these things? That doesn't seem to me the funding. The funding areas that those dollars should be coming from?
You know, the first thing, I wouldn't trust anything that comes out of Chirag's mouth, number one, or even from the Speaker's office. We know this all began there, so I'm pretty sure they're pushing toward that. Now, it's up to our governor how she's going to find this money. We have to hold her to that. But the thing is that this money has to go into an account that was created by this bill. Once that money goes into the account, and whatever happens after that, if whatever she pumps in there, the thing is she can't go back in there and take it out and use it for something else. That has to be appropriated. It is in the law. That has to be appropriated by the legislature, so she can't touch it. So she's going to be very cautious. I'm pretty sure that whatever she puts in that account, she's only going to put in what she can pay out. Because after that, she has no transfer authority, no touching that box at all, that particular fund. So I feel a little bit comfortable about it. But the best part, I feel...
a reminder now, at the last part of the Calvo administration, we found out about all kinds of other lock boxes that had some serious transfers out of them, including the E911 fund and the money that was supposed to be going to take care of the Ancestral Lands Commission and Guam Land Use Commission.
And that's one thing my office is watching like a hawk, because that's not going to repeat itself. And as long as I'm watching all these accounts and paying attention to it, that should not happen. I mean, it should not, but, let the people judge on anybody who's going to go in that cookie jar and take any money out. Hopefully people remember the actions of what those 9 individual senators did on pushing that, ramrodding it through without discussion. But like I said, I voted for the bill because there were some mechanisms in the bill that I trusted. But most of all, I work, I'm the voice of the people, and the Manumco, every single one that I spoke to, Ray, and I made those calls. They said they didn't care how it was done. It was just do their time. We just lost another one last week again. I couldn't even speak to her. It's just any process to help get these paid off that I'm supporting.
I'm curious about something, Tello, and maybe with your deeper understanding of the legislation, is there a provision in there for the children of the war claimants, survivors?
No, nothing.
Okay, somebody said, I'd heard, and I had not seen reference to it, but I hadn't seen the whole thing as engrossed and as sent to the governor's office. So I wasn't quite sure because there's another one that's going to feel like a money grab down the road.
To my understanding, all those who filed their applications, if, let's say, someone who filed it in 2015, when they first started it and submitted the applications before the deadline, in the event they should pass away, then they still receive it. They will still receive the funding, but it'll go to their estate, and it would have to go through probate. But anyone else who, before 2015, who passed away, did not qualify to meet. It was only those survivors at that time. The applications were sent out and submitted before the deadline.
Did the legislature... I'm sorry, Teller, did the legislature have an opportunity to address the taxability of those funds? So if World War II loyalty recognition claimant was able to receive the funds, whether from the local mechanism or the stateside mechanism, would they be obligated to pay taxes on them?
I'm not sure. And that would be on the federal government side, wouldn't it? But would it be on the government of Guam side? I'm pretty sure we're not going to be taxing them. If there's a bill or a law that comes up that says, these fundings that come to the war claimants, no tax shall be imposed on them, I would be supportive of that. But, Ray, did you happen to have the
Well, I mean,
website?
you could take the taxes out and then rebate them right, put them in some kind of a rebate, a war claims rebate, so that it bounces right back to them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to work on that. That's a good idea.
Okay, you asking me something?
Yeah, do you happen to have the website to follow up with the, what has been already approved by the Justice Department or the Treasury on the adjudicated, which has been adjudicated? From what I gathered, just last month they approved 133. But if I'm not
yes, and a whole nother batch of them have been adjudicated in the last 7 or 8 days. I want to say that was a story that came out. But I checked the Guam Daily Post in their records. But yeah, there's supposed to be a whole bunch of new war claimants that have been adjudicated.
And by the way, just to let your listening audience know, you can follow up with all those that have been adjudicated and how many claimants that were placed in there by www.justice.gov/FCSC/current-programs. If you punch in that, you can keep tabs. This is the Justice Department. Keep tabs of what has been adjudicated already, and look on that website and keep tabs on. Okay.
Yep. Ken LG says U.S. IRS writes Guam income tax rules, not the Department of Revenue and Taxation or the legislature. I recall that conversation from many years ago when the legislature attempted to give teachers a tax. A credit against their taxes for expenditures they made outside of the classroom for their classroom, and they got scolded and said, no, you can't do that. But we can have tax holidays on things that are sold here, services that are provided here, and you can also, if you want to, seems to me, we ought to be able to put together some kind of a rebate program where if it is taxed at whatever the percentage is going to be, then the government of Guam can instantly bounce those tax dollars right back to him. Tell, I'm going to let you run here. Merry Christmas to you and your old man. And
to my dad, yeah, he's 90. He's great. I'll be picking up later on today, taking him around. But I just want to tell your listening audience and you and yourself and family a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you take the opportunity to, this is time to spend a lot of time with your family and your friends, your loved ones, and this is also the time to prepare for your resolutions, and please incorporate a healthy lifestyle and be safe, and most especially be happy. Create a great Christmas and create a great year. Yeah. Take a look around you. I like to say this at the end of the years. The people that we are closing this year with or going into 2020 with, we might not all be together for whatever reason at the end of 2020. Think about the people you started the decade with, people that you loved. Mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, cousins, friends that you started the decade with, and think about how many that you have lost in the last 10 years, and it will go just like that. So love everybody up, because you don't know if we're all going to be going out at the same time next year. 8:57. Tell, I'll see you soon. Merry Christmas, everyone.
888-8255. She'll be out somewhere singing tonight, I'm sure, doing some caroling. And because she has experience in that, don't you know? 888-825-888-TALK. Joe Cruz says, spoiler alert, voters on Guam have a longer attention span than ever before. We will remember everything you did and how you did it. Eric Rosario says, I got gifts for everyone. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to pay for my power. Dude, the good news is that we are here in December. It's rather dry outside. And that means that that these great winds that we've got blowing, all you need to do, bro, is open a window and on this side of the house, open a window on that side of the house, and let the breeze be your air conditioning. It's cold enough. There's places I'm sure it's colder outside than it is inside. And it's like that all the time. Now, the only reason I don't do that is because there's dogs in the neighborhood. And we had one neighbor's got a puppy, like Mona said, it's Japanese, because that's all it does. Yap, 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 yap. And I don't know what it was last night. There must have been a lot of traffic, people walking up and down the street last night, because there was the dogs across the street just would not shut up. Even as many times as I got up and stood at the front door of my house in my underwear yelling, "Shut up over there," they still would not. And so as a result of that, I think maybe I could have gotten a little bit better night's sleep last night. And that's why I can't open the window to the house all the time, even though it's the absolute best time of the year to do something like that. Who else is playing around? Roger Martinez. One of the byproducts of coconut wine fermentation is methanol, the ingestion of which can cause blindness and death. Some manufacturers keep the methanol in the drink because it means greater volume and more profit, is the way the story works out in the Philippines. And I'm getting a pronouncer from Carlos Barreto. He says it's pronounced lambanog. Lambanog. Okay, I'll try to remember that when I order it in the Philippines with the extra methanol and see if I get the little blue devils in my head. 8:59 and change the radio station. KUSG, Hagunya Christmas Eve version continues on the other side of Fox News Live. This is The Point.
Both sides still at odds over documents and witnesses. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer calling on the president to allow 4 top advisors to testify. He's also demanding documents. But it is Majority Leader Mitch McConnell calling the shots ahead of the president's upcoming Senate trial. Fox's Grinnell Scott live with the latest.
Jane, Minority Leader Schumer says all he and Democrats are wanting is the facts to come out, and that means allowing witnesses and documents at the impeachment trial. But Majority Leader McConnell says none of it is needed. Schumer says that baffles him.
He still hasn't answered the question. What is wrong with witnesses? What is wrong with documents?
Schumer says they have evidence. He says can establish who ordered aid to Ukraine withheld and when that order was given. Schumer says it becomes a sham if witnesses and documents are kept out of the trial, which could be just weeks away, Jane.
Thanks, Gernal, and an almost immediate response from President Trump. He's spending the holidays at his Mar-a-Lago resort. He is also on Twitter, tweeting that the witch hunt must end now with a trial in the Senate, calling Schumer Crying Chuck and House Speaker Pelosi Crazy Nancy. He claims the Speaker is trying to take over the Senate, with Schumer trying to take over the trial. The House Judiciary Committee, meantime, leaving open the possibility of recommending additional articles of impeachment against the president. That will depend on testimony by former White House counsel Don McGahn. Next week, a federal appeals court is set to hear arguments on whether McGahn can be forced to testify. In a separate court filing, the Justice Department claims the Judiciary Committee no longer needs grand jury materials from the Mueller probe, since President Trump was not impeached over that. America is listening to Fox News.
Ever notice how that one perfect holiday gift is just out of reach? Or how sales on the stuff you want all come at the same time? This season, plan ahead with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. Now you can afford to be nice without being naughty. For more details, visit FHB.com or any branch to apply. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you think about better water, think Connecticut softened water. Connecticut water conditioners work like no other, supplying a continuous flow of luxuriously soft water without disruption and without use of electricity. After all, better water flows from better thinking. Connecticut.
American Water Tech, a passion for improving lives through better water. Call American Water Tech at 649-2301 or email info@americanwatertech.com.
It's a shortened trading week because of the holiday. The Dow ending up 96 points. The NASDAQ gains nearly 21. The S&P 500 up almost 3. Despite recent setbacks, including that shortened mission of its new Starliner space capsule because somebody set a clock wrong, Boeing stock soared today.
Its share spiking 3% after the plane maker's chief executive officer, Dennis Muhlenberg, resigned over the deadly 737 MAX debacle, effective immediately.
Fox's Hillary Barsky, Boeing's current board chairman, David Calhoun, takes over January 13th. 346 people killed in those MAX plane crashes. The aircraft grounded around the world. Orders for the planes canceled. With North Korea promising the U.S. a Christmas surprise, former National Security Advisor John Bolton criticizing President Trump's policy toward North Korea, if he says you can even call it that. In an interview with Axios, he says the president is only bluffing when he talks tough.
He said, and this is a quote, that the U.S. doesn't really mean it, or the administration would be pursuing a different course.
That's Fox's Greg Palcott. 5 men sentenced to death in Saudi Arabia in connection with the death of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi.
In addition to the 5 sentenced to die, 3 more were convicted in Khashoggi's death and are going to prison. 3 others were acquitted. Khashoggi disappeared in October of 2018 when he went to the Saudi consulate in Turkey to obtain paperwork to marry his fiancée. Inside, Saudi agents reportedly ambushed him, killed him, and dismembered his body. The 59-year-old's remains have not been found. The Saudi royal court found Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was not directly involved in the murder.
That's Rachel Sutherland, and I'm Jane Metzler, and this is Fox News.
GRMC's Neuroscience and Neurology Department treats a wide spectrum of disorders associated with the nervous system, spine, and brain. Some of the more common disorders include seizures, epilepsy, dementia, sleep disorders, migraine, and stroke, which is one of the leading causes of death on Guam. GRMC's neuroscience team is equipped with the latest technology and the finest neurological doctors. To make an appointment, contact GRMC specialty clinics at 645-5500.
We understand what matters to you because at Docomo Pacific, we're a family too. With the Now Family program, mom, dad, and kids stay connected on the latest devices the whole family can enjoy. For just $155 a month, get 3 lines with 30 gigs of 4G LTE data each, and endless use of your favorite apps without affecting your monthly data bucket. Add more, get more, save more. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Because I said so. That's why. 6 after 9 o'clock in the morning, portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And guys over at Wendy's, they're celebrating their 50th anniversary, and they've done it up right. New birthday cake frosty and a birthday cake frosty cookie sundae available for a limited time. Happy birthday to Wendy's and sweet treats for all of us on Guam. Get the party started at Wendy's. Now that's better. Speaking of parties, check this out. Party with everybody. We got the whole choice team's going to be there on New Year's Eve at Kento's, ringing in 2020 as they celebrate Kento's 10th anniversary. Live performances by Insta Jam and Super Club. Music by DJ Daryl Lizama. DJ D-Love. And Ryan the Mixologist is going to be there as well. General admission, $20, includes 2 drinks and an appetizer. There's a champagne toast with a $500 balloon drop at midnight, so don't miss it. December 31st, Kento's at the Hyatt.
Any speaker, anytime. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Hey, man, where's my jib jab? I gave you guys, what is it, hour and a half ago. I said, here's what you got to do. I got somebody, one of the brain power, the brain trust, and our international listening audience and our Facebook livers need to go to Jib Jab and create a Jib Jab video featuring the likenesses of Governor Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio. We need to stick in there probably Chief of Staff Tony Babauta, as well as, and I was thinking Carlo Branch, the policy guy. You could stick him in there. Depending on, because the jib jabs, there's sometimes it's like one person, sometimes it's a dozen people. But just load it up with as many people in the administration as possible. If not jib jabbing that, then do a jib jab with Lulian Guerrero, Josh, and maybe Tina Rose Munya Barnes And if you got room, we can stick Shirag in there as well. So, make it a whole little big Jib Jab family. JIBJAB is the name of the place. And then as soon as you got a video, come back to me on the link here on Facebook Live, and we'll pop that up and see just how much fun we can have with Jib Jab and our elected representatives. 8 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Yes? Anything important come up?
You checked our WhatsApp, right?
What? Somebody sent it to me on the WhatsApp?
The Point WhatsApp, yeah.
No.
Ken said he sent one.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, stand by one. Let me just...
he just called lamenting that we don't have it. And I was like, dude, I don't know, bro. I'm not in charge of that machine.
No, I see it. Okay, stand by one. I gotta cut and paste. I thought you'd post it up on the Facebook Live thing. Okay. So he does have a Jib Jab. Stand by. Here it comes. Okay, go ahead and play it. Here.
Does he want everybody to know that?
Says little hamsters are making your video. You sure you're ready for this? God bless you, Ken.
오빤 강남스타일 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는 여자 그런 반전 있는 여자 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 지금부터 갈 때까지 가볼까 오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일
Eddie Calvo.
오빤 강남스타일
Remember me in 2020. Ken LG. Is that Eddie? I'm having a hard time making out the face. I think it's Eddie. 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, so where's the Jib Jabs? Where's the Jib Jabs with the administration? You got it? Stop pointing. Just open the mic and talk to me.
Yeah.
That's what the microphone is for.
Ken will tell us all about it.
Oh, there he is. Okay, get back at you, Ken.
Yeah, the first one was Lou, Josh, Tina, and Tony. And then after I sent it, I realized I didn't include the minority leaders. So the second one, the Gangnam Style, was Will Castro.
Oh, okay. All right. So I see it now.
The first one, there's two of them. So the first one is Lou, Josh, Tony Babauta, and Tina Mooney Barnes.
Okay, well let me get that. Let me see if I can get that one on the screen. Stand by, people watching on Facebook Live. You're basically watching me execute computery stuff here. All right, press and return, and there it is. Hold on. Little hamsters are making our video still. All right, this would be the entire the entire administration. There it is. I see Lou, I see Josh, I see Tina, and I see Tony. Here it comes, guys.
It's truly something you have to see to believe.
Oh, yeah. I'll post it. We may have to play that 2 or 3 more times before the end of the day. Why didn't I think of this back in December 1st? Oh my God, that's hilarious. This will be the gift that keeps on giving, ladies and gentlemen. Jib Jab is the place to go for it. Ken's still on the line.
Why didn't I think of this back in December 1st?
Okay, go ahead and turn the radio down so you can hear me. We got that monstrous delay here between here and there. So
Yeah.
that's just and that's not that difficult to do, right?
No, it's not. If you have a Jib Jab membership, it's $2.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
And you have one?
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Tell you what. I'm okay. There's one. You posted. Okay. You've got both of them posted now, right?
Yes.
You are the man. I got to figure out ways. I'm going to send that to my friend Tony Babauta.
Well, I'm sure that everyone in the administration will love the holiday gifts that they are giving the people of Guam.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and the thing I like about this is it's tons more entertaining than the video that she put out with Josh. I mean, it's I can play them one right after the other, just so you get a sense. I mean, they came out and they played it straight, and we've got the Christmas tree and the pretty Christmas music in the background. But frankly, they should have gone to Jib Jab and done something like this, and not waited for geniuses like you and I to encourage that kind of misbehavior. This is almost borderline civil unrest, Ken. This is like the '60s.
I know. I mean, this. I mean, I'm old enough to have been there during the protests and the bra burnings and the marches and the draft card burnings and things like this.
Yep.
It starts with a song, and if you think back, the song back then that was at the vanguard was Country Joe and the Fish.
Yep.
And the Fish Cheer. Well, this is not quite the Fish Cheer, but it's close.
Yeah, well, we're not quite progressives. We just, burn the system down and start all over again. 9:15 in the morning, and in deference to people that are just tuning in saying, we jib-jab the administration. Ken Leon Guerrero jib-jab the administration, and let's play it one more time. Ken, I'll talk to you later. Times you watch it, the better it gets. Is where Tina's spanking her dog, and that's just. I'm sorry, that's funny to me. You need to work up some of that stuff. Do me a favor. I probably won't have time to do it in the next few minutes. I've got another 45 minutes of talk radio here to kill. I probably won't have time to do this, but if you are an operative of Adelup or the government of Guam in any way, shape, or form, could you do me a favor and send a copy of that, cut and paste that, send a copy of that to the governor's office. Lou needs to see that. Tony needs to see that. The speaker needs to see that. And now it's got me wishing we had more. I wish there was more of those kinds of things. 9:15 in the morning. 888-825-5888. TALK is the telephone number around here in these particular parts. What else is there to talk about that we've got day before Christmas? I played another video earlier with a guy spouting off about drugs. There's some kind of Hawaiian comedian. Gabby says that's Augie T. Might be Chris Biachino online saying Graphic Center and Island Color and Copy is open today. They at the Island Color and Copy, they do a bunch of one-off stuff. And so maybe you want to do a special banner or some kind of sign or something like that at your Christmas gathering. I think if you get to them this morning, they might be able to get something going for you by the end of business day. Watch and see how that particular deal plays out. Online with us this morning, that's good. On Facebook Live, YouTube Live is also cranking, and so is thepoint.gu. Our philosophy here at the radio station is any speaker anytime, any screen anytime. So if you're missing out on the fun, just remember it's a video on demand. After 10 o'clock, Facebook ingests it into their bit buckets, and so does YouTube. So at the close of the program, you can frankly start watching it all over again, and just go for some of the high parts, like where Tello says, "I wouldn't trust a word that comes out of Chirag Baswani's mouth." I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, hear stuff like that at 9 o'clock in the morning. You just wonder, are you drinking already? You already started drinking, haven't you? Got the day off and everything. Hit the eggnog.
That's right, eggnog. I was about to say.
I haven't had a drop of that.
I've got some right now.
Oh, do you? Is it foremost? I don't know. I haven't seen it, I haven't looked for it. But I'm curious as to usually I want to say it's Foremost that comes out with eggnogs around here, and I had not seen any yet. My first experience with eggnog is when I was a little boy. My stepfather Dave used to make eggnog at the house.
Yeah,
and you know what freaked me out about that? It has eggs in it. It had raw egg go in there.
Mm-hmm. No, but there's some really great recipes. I mean, if you put some egg, a little cinnamon, some other really good things in there, a glass of eggnog. Well, of course, you got to have a little something in there.
Yeah.
But man, it can be really nice and goes down warm.
I hear that. 9:18 in the morning. Where else do we get to go today? I was telling you earlier that there's a degree of saltiness in the forum today. The forum I speak of is the forum of the public opinion page in the Guam Daily Post. Now, there's an editorial. When you get to Tall Tales this afternoon, no doubt there is going to be riffing on this by former Senator and Tall Tales host Bob Klitsky. $310,000 FESPAC budget should be reconsidered. And now, because I'm trying to maintain a degree of sanity, I don't watch the legislature when they're in session. For the most part, it's very rare. I used to watch it religiously. And then I just get so bummed out. Number one, there's too many breaks. Yeah. Number two, they'll show close-up shots of senators that aren't talking, and they're generally on their phones, which I think is, if it's just a distraction, that's one thing. But if it is people WhatsApping or messengering in how they want votes on the bill to go or additional arguments to be made one way or the other for these unseen, unheard parties, I think that's a crime. I think it is beyond criminal that anybody would entertain any message to them on the direction of a bill once it's already on the legislative floor.
Yeah, as a law of the body, they might want to consider next year implementing something like that, like many families do at the dinner table.
Yeah.
No cell phones at the dinner table. No cell phones in the legislature.
The deal is, me and my friends sometimes will do that. We'll get together at the bar, and whoever's cell phones goes off or whoever starts surfing their cell phone first, they got to pick up the tab for everybody else. 20 after 9 o'clock in the morning. So the headline here says $310,000 FESPAC budget should be reconsidered, and the reason why is because it ain't $310,000. It's $350,000. All of these dollars would be allegedly approved by the board. For up to that spend. And the reason why they needed the dollars to go up to that lofty amount. And first of all, they're going to say, see, Ray Gibson, it's not $400,000, so shut up. Okay, yeah, whatever. I don't want to spend $100,000 on FESPAC.
It's still about $300,000.
It's still too much money to spend on this gift. I swear to God, there's people that run the government around here, and I think they're of the opinion that every time we open a new pothole on Marine Corps Drive, we discover gold. Because they're just walking around acting like we are the richest of all of the islands that we've got in the Pacific Ocean. And even though we're not the richest, even though we've got real serious problems, we're going to act like it.
Do you think they put like a special substance in the air ducts of the legislature? Keeps them high where they don't really know what the heck's going
oxygen.
on?
Yeah, we're just pumping oxygen in there the entire time.
It's clear they think differently when they get inside there than they do when they're outside.
Yeah, during legislative session, Talo Taitagui introduced an amendment to cap the total amount of what CAHA could spend on FESPAC at $250,000. As I said, that's still about $150,000 too high for me. The original bill didn't have a spending cap. And her amendment failed. Then Therese Terlai proposed a $310,000 budget. That too failed. It wasn't until Kelly Marsh proposed a $350,000 budget, and that one was just right with the rest of the body. Because then they could say it ain't $400,000 like Ray Gibson has been saying, but it's enough money for them to continue to do some of the really cool, groovy, like we live in Hollywood stuff. You know what? We got to have a video. We need to have videos made. We spent $36,000 on making a video. Hey, guys, what you do is you just have everybody with one of these. Everybody got a cell phone, right? They use that to take the pictures and capture some of the audio. Yeah, we'll want a little bit more of a professional presentation, but don't you think we'd get that from the organizers at FESPAC in Hawaii? Don't you think that they would already have, some kind of pool video mechanism? It's the way it works everywhere else in the world. We can't have everybody carrying cameras and shooting videos, so we open up what's called a pool. And they're really good TV stations and producers of programming in the state of Hawaii. I've worked with many of them. And all you need to do is hire them up or let the FESPAC committee hire them, and we share all of the video. Yes, that's right. He said share. You see how much money they want to spend for dinner? We're going to have a gala. This is $10,000, I think they want to spend up for the gala. Now, the answer that they're going to say is, we're still getting bids. We're still getting estimates. We're still getting quotes on all of this stuff. So the money can change. Yeah, it's going to go up. It's never been I'm very rarely ever surprised when somebody says, yeah, you know what? That's actually going to be about 20% less than we thought it was going to be. That almost never happens. So I don't anticipate it's going to be happening now. There is a Carlo analogy, and I don't have it in my head just yet. But there's got to be a Carlo analogy where we say we're getting to the top of a $350,000 debt with 250 what is it, a 35-foot debt.
Oh God, you're doing math again.
With a 25-foot ladder. That's we can't get to 35 feet with the 25-foot ladder. It's got to be a 35-foot ladder to get to the 35.
I bet you could if someone's behind you with a gun.
It's an unwieldy analogy, if you will. And I'm on Dayquil, so cut me a little bit of slack here. 9:24 in the morning. My buddy Dave's on the line. Wanted to talk about FESPAC. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Hey, fine. Good morning, man.
Migo, how fly?
What do you call it? Are they going to release a list of the names that are representing Guam? Who these people are that are getting funded by the government to go to FESPAC?
I don't know. I wonder how many.
Can we request for that and see who's on it?
I want to know who's who. Who are we sending out there?
What are they bringing over there to Hawaii that's representing Guam? Are they people on that thing that's not really supposed to be there, or we need to know these things. They need to release the names of these people that are representing Guam. And I don't think we should send 100 people. We should send at least 20 people, and it should be the best of Guam. And they should have a competition for it, not a handpick. The people that are going to represent Guam should be vetted and then we only get the best of the best to represent Guam. It shouldn't be them picking who.
Yeah, being a member of the minority. Yeah, being a member of the minority, I don't know that I would get a response to that. I think that might be one of the things that we need to start foying is who exactly are we talking about going? Who on the committee is going to determine who it is that gets to go to FESPAC? Because I tell you what, I'll go if the government's going to pay and my airfare and my hotel accommodations. They're going to need an MC.
Yes, of course.
And I'll go out there and MC FESPAC for them.
And you know what? We should only be sending the best of the best. And what really is the culture here, we shouldn't be sending just anybody over there. And we should cut that down. And it should be a competition on who can represent Guam.
Amen.
And we only send the best. And I don't know. I just don't trust who they're picking to send over there. From what they've been doing ever since they've been in there. I just don't trust them.
Well, what's amazing?
Who they're sending over there.
What's amazing is they admit now that they're behind. They're blaming it on the change in the administration, and I don't know. I don't think that's correct. I think there has always been a kaha and somebody that should have been looking out for FESPAC, and the planning and the fundraising should have started as soon as we were done with the last FESPAC.
You know what? If they were worried about that, Ray, they should have carried some people from the previous administration to help them out with that. Now, if they just want to take it into their own hands because they won and they want to do it all new, then that was their problem. They should have carried some people on from the last administration that knew about FESPAC and use those people because they're already familiar with it.
Exactly.
Now they're going to go and blame the previous administration.
Well, that's what it says in the newspaper. It says Arceo has said the planning committee got a late start in large part due to the change in administrations, but noted the committee members are in discussion with certain local companies with the hopes of getting some support to cover various costs.
Well, if they were smart, they would have carried on some of those people that knew about FESPAC instead of trying to take it on by themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with you. And it's not like everybody left Guam after the last FESPAC. They're all still here.
They should have went and asked advice from the previous people that handled it, and then they would have been at a better position. And then they kind of just blame that, because we're this and that.
Well,
that's very irresponsible.
Well, you know what? Let me just disagree with you there, though, bro, because my recollection on the last Fest Pack was, wow, dude, we got lots of bling here. And all of a sudden, before anybody knew it, before anybody had a chance to complain about it, we've got these Fest Pack huts that are down at the Paseo now. And they went and redid the entire frontage area for Chief Kipua. And they did. Ask me, they did a lousy job now because you got to go weed. I don't think they put anything down to block the weeds between the rocks and the new plants that they put down there.
Yeah, true. But that's when we were hosting it, and I agree with you that some spending there went overboard. But as in regards to that new hut they built there, I mean, it's coming in pretty handy. It's being used and utilized. Not like some other stuff that we build that never gets used.
No, to that degree, sure. But man, there's times I miss the parking lot.
Sure. But man, I still think we need to vent that. We need the names of these people that are participating in that, and hopefully we learn something from this. And next time we're going to send people, we only send the best of the best, and they should have a competition for it. If not a competition, then a lottery.
That's the way we used to. I think that's the way we used to do that. I mean, we got competitions all the time for academic organizations and athletic organizations, and they all got to show up at venue, and they got to show up at Roots, and they got to show up at Franny's and do their fundraisers. And they say that they're going to have fundraising events, but I'm going, okay, when? When are you going to start fundraising? And good luck if you're going to fundraise in the spring, because everybody in the world in the springtime doesn't fundraise for FestPack. They fundraise for the Light Up the Night Against Cancer, the Cancer Society's big deal. That's where all of the fundraising is going to be in the next couple of months.
Yeah, but you have to think about it. They had 4 years to prepare for this. They should have been right from the start. Once that thing ended, they should have already been... They should have already been, trying to raise funds for that.
Dave, here's the deal. That $350,000, just kiss it goodbye. It's like throwing money at the street. Just kiss it goodbye, amigo. It's gone. They've decided a long time ago that they were going to spend it, and we're going to go out there and pretend like, we're going to be the most biggest, baddest, richest, most benedoso island in the entire Pacific.
Yeah, I don't even know who they're trying to impress, but that I don't think that we should send 100 people. I think we should cut that down to like 20 or 30 people, and we shouldn't just be sending any Tom, Dick, and Mo over there.
Yep.
We should send the best of the best, and it should be vetted, and it should be put down on paper and make everybody see who we're sending there.
Amen.
And we could all, and we all agree that, these are the best people to send.
Exactly.
They're just totally out of whack over there down to the list.
I want to send John Dank. All right, Dave. I want to send John Dank show. I think they're good, they might be traveling. They might actually be there around that same time period. I think Patrick Palomo ought to go. I think we talk about the arts, we talk about the culture. Remember that it is a moving target. There are some people that are going to be able to go out there and do the interpretive dance, what we think things might have looked like and sounded like back in the olden days, and maybe even up to some of our contemporary artists that are doing incredible things with music. I'll tell you what, I sent a DJ out there. Hey, it's an art. It is an art, and we take some of the music, take all of J.D. Crutch's songs and remix those. We'll remix them into Gus and Doll tunes. I'm totally serious. I mean, there's guys that have got the skills to be able to do things like that. There's some great rap artists and some great what do they call it? Poetry slam dudes that we might be able to get out there as well. But these people that we know are the absolute best. But if I go. If I'm selected by the committee to go, if for no other reason to shut me up.
The only poetry I know is there once was a man from Nantucket.
Yeah, let's not finish that. It's 9:31 and that's iConnect time. Run to the nearest iConnect. Ask them about saving money in the next decade. Their number is 888-8888.
Celebrate your holiday festivities with dinner at Hyatt Regency Guam on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at Al Dente Ristorante. Enjoy a holiday family set menu, which includes Fiorentina steak, lobster tail, and an array of Italian favorites, suitable for up to a family of 4. Eat, drink, and be merry during the holidays at Hyatt Regency Guam's Al Dente Ristorante. To make your reservations, please call 647-1234.
The holidays are here and the shopping frenzy begins. Protect yourself with these safe shopping tips. Consider shopping only with retailers you trust or do some research on other retailers you aren't familiar with before proceeding. Don't save your credit card information on retail websites and never make payments when using public Wi-Fi. Switch to cellular data or wait until you get to a secure network to make your purchases. These safe holiday banking tips are brought to you by Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, member FDIC.
Are you ready for some football? The Ray Gibson Show has got your fix every day with the Points NFL Pick'em contest. Get the latest updates as we check out the past week's performance and break down the upcoming action. Get your game on by calling the hotline at 888-TALK or sound off on Facebook Live at thepoint.gu. League members get a chance to win some awesome weekly prizes with a shot for your choice of a new GTA phone. The NFL Pick'em contest is brought to you by Current Guam with special thanks to GTA.
Well, this is weird. Just got a note here from the Facebook people, and it says the video or your video is blocked because it may contain music, audio, or video that belongs to someone else. Oh, that is interesting. Huh. You know what I think? It's the Maca-Reindeer. Because it looks like it's around that same time period. Maca-Reindeer, I played Maca-Reindeer, and the crazy thing is it says there's only one Facebook viewer here. And it is, I wonder if it's I haven't heard from anybody on the online in a couple of minutes. 888-8255.
You are your only Facebook viewer.
Right? Is it possible that we got blocked for the entire day? Huh. Anyway, well, you know what? It's worth it. it's worth it. Hopefully everybody went over to YouTube Live, and I don't know if we're getting blocked out there, but stranger things obviously have happened in the world of Facebook. So we'll watch and see how it works, and then when they're all done being mad at me, I suppose I could dispute it, but I don't actually have the permission from the Jib Jab people to be able to use this on Facebook. You would think that they would allow for something along those lines. I might just dispute that and see what happens. Anyway, 9:34 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK is the telephone number around here. And there's stuff that you and I have to worry about between here and the top of the hour and the end of the actual day. It is now, what, day 2 of your kids' Christmas break? Is that what's happening? Yeah, I'm getting a note here. We're good on YouTube. That's nice. Thanks. I appreciate you checking on that. What's that Chris Biacchino is saying? You're able to watch on Facebook, but can't send any messages. Yeah, so I think we've been blocked by the Facebook police. What's up with that? You're going to have to call me then. For those, if you want to say something, you may actually have to call the radio station to get your sentiments on the air. Revised makeup day schedule. GDOE's makeup day schedule has also been revised. Makeup days for Agata Johnson Middle School and Ordat Salanpago Elementary will take place January 6th. January and February 3rd. Schools will have a makeup day on January the 7th. Schools that do not have makeup days on January 6th, 7th, and February 3 will not have classes on these days due to professional development. So, Agata Johnson Middle School, Ordat Salanpago is going to be, their makeup day is January the 6th. Where is that? Is that Tuesday? We're supposed to go back to school. All schools back in session on the 7th. Agata Johnson and Ordat Salanpago Elementary School will also have a makeup day on February the 3rd. So, you know, it's one of those things where there's just an awful lot going on. Just an awful lot going on, and with the storms and governor saying, okay, everybody can have a day off or something like that. And so as a result of that, there's the deal. We got shortened holiday schedules, and we got random days that you would have had the day off, but you got to go to school. So we'll see. 9:36 in the morning. If you got the day off today, and federal government and local government both do, the note here is take the GVB survey. It's only going to be up for until what? The end of the month there, Joshy? Your GVB survey?
Yeah, it's only going to be up till December 31st. So. Yeah, please take it before it closes.
About how long will it? Go to gvb.org and the worldwide. No, visitors.org, right?
You can go to GuamVisitorsBureau.com and then there's a QR code. There's actually you'll find that you can just click on that link and then you can take the survey.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, It should take less than 15 minutes. And,
Less than okay. Because now, are there essay questions in there? Can I just, here's a shot where you can just write down your thoughts on what it is that we need to do.
It's a multiple choice, so you can rate how the strategic plan, the Tourism 2020 strategic plan was overall. You can, and then you kind of grade like the different objectives of the different goals that were set out since it was launched back in 2014.
Yeah.
And
do I need to read the thing again?
If you want to, you can. But honestly, this is all based on public awareness as well. So, whatever you heard about Tourism 2020 and how it appeals to you or not, that's what we're going to be looking for.
Okay, all right. Just wondering because
it's an honest sampling sample of everyone's collective opinion of how this plan has.
Can you tell me how many you've got already? How many submissions you have? How many people have taken the survey?
I believe it was. Hold on one sec. I'm trying to pull it up. It was. We've had about 261 responses.
Oh, you need more than that. You need at least another 100 or so.
But just talking with the research department, this is actually a good sample size, and it represents different sectors of the government and private sector. So,
right.
So anyone from the citizens to tourism industry professionals to board of directors to senators to government officials to you name it.
Yeah, but I'd prefer it was more representative of what what the taxpayers and what residents have got a feeling for when it comes to that, because they're the ones that are impacted the most by the coming and going of the tourists, and so they're the ones that are going to have a personal stake in the hospitality industry. Keep the yard clean, keep the trash to an acceptable minimum, and let's not be crazy people out there. Well, we've got Koreans driving around and seeing some of the best of what Guam has to offer side by side with the worst that Guam has to offer.
What's great is that majority of these responses have come from citizens. They haven't come from government employees or there's a good portion of that, but majority of the responses so far have come from just regular citizens that have taken the survey.
I would hope so. I would hope so, because as I said, we're the ones that are most impacted. When the hospitality industry does great, then we do great. When it's lousy, we're lousy. You guys work in the government of Guam in the public sector. Whether or not there's a million tourists coming to Guam, you still get paid. The guys in the private sector don't always get a chance to say things like that. At any rate, so good job with the light show down in Tumon. I absolutely dig it.
Yeah, thank you again for coming, and that was really awesome.
I passed by there.
Doris was really happy to see you.
Oh, she's
again,
great.
too.
I passed by a couple of times. The place is looking really good. 20 away from the top of the hour. Josh, I'll talk to you soon. Merry Christmas to you and the fam.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you and the family, too, and I'll talk to you guys soon about other upcoming projects.
Probably be around Carabao tonight about 7.
Oh, okay.
Just FYI.
Nice.
Okay. I'll see you, buddy. 20 away from the top of the hour, and Bob Kelly is on the line. I want to talk about Facebook and FestPack, but while I mentioned Carabao in there, just a quick note. Did you find your favorite beer that they make there?
I think I like I think it's the Dr. something, the IPA.
The Dr. Buzz? You had the Dr. Buzz? You can only have 2 of those. I think there's a thing. Because there's like 9.1% alcohol by volume.
That's very similar to the Torpedo that you can get.
Okay. All right. I'm glad they got
my wife wanted me to mention the porter. That's her favorite.
Okay. Porter is good. My favorite is there's a wit beer that is an easy drink beer, and if you hold your nose right, you can even bring in some of the aromas, some of the citrus notes that they have in that over at the place. As I said, I'm going to be hanging out there for a little bit tonight. Anyway, 19 away. You want to talk about Facebook and FestPack. What's the connection, bro?
Well, first off, I was trying to send you a comment on Facebook about FestPack, but I was blocked.
Yeah, you can watch apparently you can watch it.
I figure Facebook did not like what I was saying, so maybe it's really politically incorrect. What I was going to send you.
No, what it was is what I think it is I played copywritten music. The Maca Reindeer from Jib
Well,
Jab.
okay, so let me make a quick jump on that.
Yeah.
You pay PRO fees as a radio station for both broadcast and online. You're covered legally.
Okay,
That's what your PRO fees are for.
Yeah, well, I'll see if I can dispute that with Facebook, because they've given me a couple of options.
If you were just like Governor Ken Leon Guerrero, you could not do that unless he's paying PRO fees also. But you pay the PRO fee, so you're covered.
Just don't know. Sometimes the gods of Facebook. Let me see if I can submit dispute. I'm going to say I have explicit permission from the rights owner to use this content because I'm playing it based on my license.
Well, you wouldn't say from the owner. You would say from the PRO, because they all contract with the Performing Rights Organization, which is BMI, ASCAP, and that third party one I forget.
UGM.
The one that's only got about 5% of the things, but they have lots of lawyers.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's mostly Christmas music, too.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, what I was going to suggest is, really, I don't have a problem with the government putting money up, but not just for FestPac, but for all the people, whether it's our culinary talent that goes out to compete, our baseball, little league or something. But they should put the money there and have the people raise money and do matching. That way they've got skin in the game also. So there's the government boost. You know, maybe you raise half the money and we'll match it with you or something, or we'll help you. But we need to get the people out also picking up part of this on their own, whether it's FestPac, Little League, soccer, the mock trial teams or whatever. And we should have a fund to be able to help, because on Guam...
Well, we got mileage, don't we? There's a mileage bank, is there not?
There is a mileage bank, but it's not enough probably to get people out in the numbers of the teams. But here's what I was going to say.
Well, then don't send 100 people. Do we have to send 100 people?
Well, it depends. If there's 100 people that have the talent and qualify and they raise a reasonable match, why not? I'm just saying we shouldn't just do handouts without the people who are competing, whether it be FestPac, baseball, whatever. They need to get a skin in the game also. And the other one is, I remember a few years, well, actually it was probably about 15 years back, when teams wanted to go out, the government of Guam told them, you go out, bring your team in, do the beach cleanup, and we'll give you a donation toward that so we get something out of it.
Sound like the Ricky Berdallo days.
Yeah, I mean, let's let the people get some skin in the game, do some community service, raise some money. I don't have a problem then, but just handing it out without any strings, that's a little bit loose.
Well, see, there seems to be a whole lot of pork leaving the legislature these days.
But they could get something out of it for the whole island. Island cleanup and beautification is one. I mean, if you knew that the FestPac people were donating, okay, let's talk about FestPac. They all have artwork. What if they're donating artwork either to the government or selling it and raising money to go, and then we get some match? Then it would be a little bit less objectionable if they're putting something into it.
Well, it depends on what the artwork is, who's producing it. I think everybody wants to have Judy Flores stuff in their lobbies. It's just so much that can go around, right?
Well, that's right. But I mean, we have one of the things that I've noticed is beautiful murals popping up all over Guam now.
Yes.
There's things that can be done that will make our island better. Part of it's cleanup, part of it's the beauty of the art, other things that can be done. I just think we need to look at, okay, we'll support you, but you support the island and what we're doing with our tourism and what we're doing with everything else so that we get a benefit as an island community and for our tourists.
It's too bad we didn't have a chance to say that at the legislature. Too bad we couldn't reach out to members of the minority who might have wanted something along those lines. The whole rush now to get and use all of that money to send a 100-person delegation to FESPAC has rubbed me the wrong way since I first heard about it. And even as you take a look at that measure, one of the things that it purports to do is to change law that already exists. There's already statute that says you cannot use CAHA money for travel, and now they're rewriting that in the new version of it. And I don't believe that they ought to be able to do that. I think they can use that moving forward into other FESPACs, but where it comes to funding this one, they've got to abide by the existing law, which means that they don't have access to those CAHA dollars.
But if we don't look at it as CAHA dollars, but travel for representing Guam, and put in a, and I think there should even be like a 5-person board made up of an athletic director, an art person, somebody from the schools for the competition that our kids go on, and let them make a decision on how to do the matching and what needs to be done so that the people coming into this, but as I said, the issue is people are not going to appreciate something if they don't have some skin in the game.
Right. Where's my, show me the sweat equity, and I'll look the other way on the issues.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, Bob, Merry Christmas to you and the family.
Merry Christmas to you. I'm a little bit jealous because I wanted to go to the Philippines, but the airfares killed me this time.
Yeah, well,
my wife and I are gonna, after Christmas, we're going to Saipan for a few days.
You gotta get in early with the reservations for the accommodations in all the different directions. But I think it'll be a good time no matter what. 9:48, Bob Kelly. I see you pretty soon. Appreciate your assistance with all of my projects through the year. It's 9:48 in the morning, and normally in the small talk portion of the program, I take a look at some of the magistrate reports and see what's interesting in there. And I've got one here, and I got the question that I have, and it's an annoyance. Oh, that's nice. Say Merry Christmas. Keena McCausland actually sending a message through through a DM. Say Merry Christmas to my Udzoa and Santos family from me, Keena McCausland, thinking about you in Vancouver, Washington. That's nice. There's this story. I'll read it to you and then give you my thoughts on it. There's a police officer, 2 of them, responded to a disturbance complaint at a place in Dededo. Bertha and Pumi, who is the daughter of Bertha, informed Officer Dodd that the victim's boyfriend of 3 years, Romeo Moon, had verbally threatened her, shouting, "I'm going to beat you up. I'll punch your face." The victim also stated the defendant had been drinking earlier that day and that the victim feared for her safety because he's got a history of being violent with her when he's drunk. Nice boy. Police ordered back in June of this year, Judge Kwan ordered the defendant not to harass, annoy, or threaten the family household members of this family, a sister. And so this guy, Romeo, has been charged with harassment and violation of a court order. And it's the thing that we tell you every once in a while, the concerns that we have. Number one, we got a problem in this town with violence against women. And the number of domestics, and I very rarely read them, but it doesn't mean that they're not there. It's just that there's a certain level of, it just feels like the biggest trash that we've got to take out here on Guam is the number of so-called men that would raise their hands, hell, would raise their voice at a woman. You have a bad day on the job, or maybe your meth guy didn't come through today, or maybe you're taking all kinds of other stuff, and you go home, you're having a bad day, and you take it out on your girlfriend. She calls the judge. Judge puts a restraining order on you, and it doesn't slow this guy down in the very least. Had some more beers, and then went and started some more trouble. And this is why, from time to time, I'll remind you that if you look at the right places on Facebook, among the things that you might find at some of these places on Facebook is instructions and invitations for gun shooting classes. You get the ladies and the people that disagree with me on this point, and I understand their concerns. There are statistics that some say will show that just the presence of a gun in the house means that there is going to be violence, usually at the hands of somebody that you love, some member of the family, something like that. I don't know the veracity of all of those numbers. I'll give you a nod in the direction and say, yeah, let's take steps to make sure that these guns are otherwise secured. So if there is a fight, only the girl knows where to get it. Always keep around in the chamber, sweetheart. You never know if you're going to have time to rack it or not. But there are a lot of these things because this is another perfect example of the fact that these stay-away orders, even if they come from the Honorable John Kwan, are nothing more than a piece of paper. And it ain't going to prevent the guy from getting drunk texting you all day and then showing up in the middle of the night saying, what, you went to the store? What, are you cheating on me with the guy at the store? Whatever. You know how it is. Know how it is in this town. So I would suggest that Pumi needs to, depending on how old she is, Bert, take your daughter. What's the name of that gun place that I like to go to? Down in Harmon, next to Local Promos. It's Mike Temorowski's place. Man, if I had my wallet, I can't remember the name of it. And I can't go on Facebook Live and say, somebody type it in. Because they turned off my Facebook Live blocking for the show. Dummies. There another one? Mine had been reading this a couple of times this morning about the cops pulled over, observed a white Toyota Camry with a license plate. It had expired registration. So police do what I told you, what I've been telling you they're going to do for the last bunch of days, and that is let's pull people over with expired tags. Bargain Tactical. Thanks very much, Tom. That's the place. Yeah, by the way, went there yesterday to pick up a couple of gift certificates. And they have gift certificates over at Bargain Tactical. And Mike Temorowski leans over. He says, hey, your brother Dave was by. He said, if you buy gift certificates, he's looking for $5,000. And I said, you don't have gift certificates that go up that high. And Tom looks at me and says, yeah, we do. Because they've got a system where it's like room key cards. They can program the amount based on how much you want to give. So if you want to do $100, you can type in $100 and they'll jam the thing in at $100. You want to do $101. Anyway, very cool place. Bargain Tactical. Thank you very much. They didn't have a Walther yet, though. That's the thing. I want to get one of those Walthers like James Bond. I mean, if you're gonna have a gun, get a James Bond gun, and you know it's portable and very easy to shoot. Might not be the most accurate thing. See, now Tom's gonna give me a hard time saying, yeah, the PPK. That's what I'm looking for. But they got a bunch of different versions of the PPK. Sorry, I digress. We sprinkled some shiny gun talk on the conversation, and you lost me. Anyway, so the cops pulled the guy over, and police executed a stop, approached the car, noted an open can of natural ice, which is getting to be the favored brand for thugs around here. Natural ice is showing up as a character in a whole bunch of these magistrate reports these days. At any rate, they found the beer. The driver, Alvarez Sog, stated that he did not have a driver's license or registration documents for the car. Passenger first identified himself as Young A. Chem, and police determined later, based on a tattoo, Facebook profile, and his birth date, and his own admission, that his real name was Jones I. Chem. They told Defendant 1, get out. And as police placed his left wrist in his hands restraints, he tensed up and began to turn away from the police. They were able to control his wrist and instructed him not to resist. Police informed Defendant 1 that he was under arrest for no driver's license, open container. Defendant 1 consented to a search of the car. And guess what they found? Black pouch. Clear plastic bag, white crystalline substance, later tested positive for meth. Defendant 1 stated the pouch belonged to him, but the meth did not. He said the meth belonged to defendant number 2. So Jughead 1 and Jughead number 2 both get thrown in the clink for all of that. And based on what I think is maybe a country of origin, I would put these guys down as perhaps eligible for some kind of deportation event. 3:45 in the morning, driving around, and I'm not sure that it's a stolen car, but expired registration, no driver's license, didn't check for insurance and all of that stuff. And I hope they impound the car. Hope they got all of those guys and put that, break again? All right, fine. The producer says I have to take a break. So while I'm taking a break, I want you to ponder the reason for the season, that is the birth of our Savior.
Mescla Chamorro Fusion Bistro brings you island hospitality with a true taste of modern Chamorro cuisine. A bistro look that feels like home. Their menu features local and traditional flavors with a twist. From their famous Calaguan Hapa to fresh ahi poke salad and their award-winning barbecue ribs. Mescla takes your favorite local dishes and serves them with extra flair that you'll only find at Mescla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Stop by their newest location in the Grand Plaza Hotel in Tumon. For reservations, call 969-2652. Mescla, a true taste of Guam.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Cocoa Coffee Company is now available at Circle K. Single origin coffee beans carefully sourced and locally roasted to give you the freshest cup of coffee Guam has to offer. Grab a cup that's brewed every 30 minutes or purchase a bag of the locally roasted whole beans. Flavors now serving: light medium roasted Ethiopia and medium dark roasted Jamaican Blue Mountain. Exclusively available at Circle K. With every Cocoa Coffee Company purchase, a portion of the proceeds will go towards the Cocoa Recovery Program.
Can't be 2 minutes left. That's it? All right. The programming note you've been waiting for here is tomorrow is Christmas Day. And as much as I'd like to be here pushing talk radio at you for Christmas Day, as much as today was not a frowny face day, tomorrow is not going to be a frowny face day either. Yes. Well, for some people, maybe it will be a frowny face day. But we are going to enjoy Christmas with our family and friends and loved ones. That's my plan. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. We will all have an opportunity to get back together on Thursday, and then Thursday is going to be a shorter week for me. Thursday we'll have I'll be on the air. Friday, Chris Duenas will be doing the show, and he'll take you all the way into the first week of 2020, and I'm going to go on another one of these as they say, much deserved vacation. I don't know what I deserve. I don't know what I deserve, but I think I'm going to try a couple of different things for New Year's this year. So there's the programming note. That's what's coming up ahead. Tomorrow, Christmas, and then a regular Thursday, and then Chris Duenas is going to be doing the show for a while. Everything else remains the same. Mike's going to push buttons. Mana's going to be here with news. Jerry Roberts coming for the extra point. And I'm sure somehow or another, Michael and Chris will get around to learning how to talk sports with, or pretend to talk sports with each other. Until then, I want to say thanks very much for a wonderful year, companionship, friendship, familia love here on the Facebook Live, and I want everybody to have a fantastic Christmas. I hope Santa Claus brings you everything that you want, and remember again, Jesus, the reason for the season. So a nod in that direction at some point or another for all of the blessings. Even as tough as things get around here, we've all got a bunch of blessings that we ought to be thankful for. Until I see you on Thursday, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Senate trial standoff. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News. The Senate majority and minority leaders still at odds over witnesses and documents. Fox's Grinnell Scott has the latest live.
Jane, earlier today on Fox and Friends, Majority Leader Mitch